Live from the Idaho Central Arena in Boise, Idaho, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the first of 5 straight meetings between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. These teams will meet 5 times over the next 2 weeks, 2 here in Boise and then 3 at Maverick Center to conclude the 2022 calendar year on December 28th, 30th, and 31st. The Grizzlies have had some success in this building. If you think about it, the Steelheads are 11-2 here at Idaho Central Arena. The only 2 losses have been to the hands of the Grizzlies. Utah is actually 2-2 here at Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads have won 6 in a row. Their last loss was on December 3rd against the Grizzlies. 4-2 is the final score there. Garrett Metcalf stopped 42 of 46. He is currently in the AHL with the San Diego Ghouls. Lucas Preek will get the start in net. The backup is an emergency backup who used to play at the University of Utah, Chris Coma, who's a native of Boise, Idaho. His brother, Matt Coma, you've seen him a couple times a year on the Utah Grizzlies broadcast and working at KUTV for many years. Chris Coma will be the backup to Lucas Preek tonight. It's going to be an interesting test. There's a couple notable absences on the lineups of both teams. Johnny Walker is unable to go for the Grizzlies. He has 9 goals, which lead the club. Grizzlies also without Bryson Martin, who's battling an injury. He'll be out a few weeks. And the Grizzlies also without Jordan Stone. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight for Idaho. They picked up a pretty good defenseman in Antonio Stranges, who's got an NHL entry-level deal. In fact, Idaho's got 4 players who've got an NHL entry-level contract. But they're going to be without Owen Hedrick, who's got a 14-game point-scoring streak. It is a tough test for the Grizzlies. After all, Idaho's been outstanding this year with a record of 23-0-1. That's right. They've won 20 of their first 24 games this season. They've only lost in regulation 3 times, but 2 of those games have come to the hands of the Utah Grizzlies. So it should be a fun one tonight. It'll be an interesting goaltending matchup as Adam Shield will get the start for Idaho against Lucas Preek, who got a shutout, 32 saves against Kansas City in the Grizzlies' 3-0 victory. When we come back, we'll recap that 2-game series against Kansas City that was so successful for Utah. And we'll also talk about the Idaho Steelheads and just what exactly are the Grizzlies up to against a team that's put together an unbelievable start, winning 20 of their first 24 games, and they're currently on a 6-game winning streak as Utah tries to extend their winning streak to 3 games here tonight in the series opener. 2 games in Boise, 3 games at Maverick Center, 5 straight between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. When we come back, we'll recap last weekend's fun outing as the Grizzlies outscored the Kansas City Mavericks 9-3, winning both games. We're in business on a Wednesday night, and you're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by America First Credit Union.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the pregame show presented by America First Credit Union. Face-off is going to give face-offs in about 15 minutes from now, about 7:10, which is about the same time that they start games over at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies bounced back after losing 3 in a row at Jacksonville a couple weeks ago, and they swept Kansas City in a 2-game series last Saturday. Keaton Jameson earned a Gordie Howe hat trick, scoring 2 goals, 1 assist, and a fight. Taryn Fizer had 1 goal and 1 assist, and so did Captain Connor McDonald. Trent Miner stopped 26 of 29 in the victory, and the Grizzlies also got goals from Tyler Penner and Vladislav Mikalchuk. But really the difference in the game last Saturday was 2 shorthanded goals and a power play tally as Utah got a 6-3 victory. On Sunday afternoon, Lucas Preek earned a 32-save shutout, and the Grizzlies got goals from Vladislav Mikalchuk, Tyler Penner, and Keaton Jameson. Jameson was outstanding for the Grizzlies. He led Utah with 4 points in 2 games last week, 3 goals and 1 assist. Jameson is one of 3 Grizzlies players who are a +3 in the 2-game set against Kansas City, as Taryn Fizer and James Shearer were also a +3 for the Grizzlies. It's interesting to see Lucas Preek get the shutout. Seems like the Grizzlies are involved in every Lucas Preek shutout, and obviously now that he's a member of the Grizzlies, that's the case. But coming into play last Sunday, where Lucas got the shutout, he had 2 shutouts last season, one in the regular season and one in the playoffs, and both occasions it came against the Grizzlies. He had a 46-save shutout just about 1 year from now, or 1 year ago, December 27th, 2021. Preek got a 46-save shutout, and then 2 days later was the Brady DeVries game where he got a victory 4-3 against Rapid City. And then Preek in Game 5 of the Mountain Division Finals picked up a 44-save shutout against the Grizzlies. Lucas will be in net tonight for the Grizzlies, and he's been outstanding this year as he's got a .924 save percentage and a 2.44 goals against average. Last weekend saw the return of James Shearer. We mentioned he was one of the 3 Grizzlies who were a +3 against Kansas City, and he's certainly a big addition to the club. You think about him playing the first 3 games of the season. It was actually here at Idaho Central Arena where he got injured on October 28th and missed 18 games. It was great to see James Shearer return to the Grizzlies lineup. For Utah, it's game 24 of the regular season, so they're a third of the way. They're a third of the way through the regular season. They've got a record of 11-2. They are 5-5 at home. They are 6-7 on the road. And we mentioned in the first segment that they've had some success in this building. You think about it, Idaho is 11-0 this season against teams not named the Utah Grizzlies. Utah, however, is 2-2 against Idaho. Going in net for Idaho is going to be Adam Scheel. He'll be making his 9th appearance. He's got a record of 7-1 with a 2.01 goals against average and .928 save percentage. Just how good have the Idaho Steelheads been this season? Well, overall, they've got a record of 23-0-1. So they've been amazing. I mentioned the home record, 11-2. The only 2 losses coming to the hands of the Grizzlies. But you think about some amazing individual statistics. A third of the way through the season, this is Idaho's 25th game, whereas Utah's playing their 24th game. For Idaho, you think about their record, which is amazing, and their record when not playing the Grizzlies overall is 15-1-0-1. So they've been unbelievable when playing teams other than the Grizzlies. They are 5-2 against the Grizzlies this year. They lead the league in goals per game at 4.29. They also lead the league in goals allowed per game at 2.00. So you think about it, they're beating teams on average by 2.29 goals per game. Idaho has a 55 goal differential, a +55 goal differential this season. They've scored 103 goals, and they've allowed just 48. So you're talking about amazing. The Steelheads have been unbelievable in the first third of the season. They also lead the league in shots per game at 36.63, and that's something to keep in mind because the Grizzlies have allowed quite a bit of shots over the last 10 games, an average of about close to 40 of their own. So watch out for Idaho's shot count tonight as well as Friday. And after all, these teams will meet the next 5 times, 2 here in Boise and 3 at Maverick Center, December 28th, 30th, and 31st. We mentioned Owen Hendrick, who's got a current 14-game point-scoring streak in the first segment. He is not in the Idaho lineup, but you think about Matt Register, who is. He leads the league in plus-minus at +26. So he's got a plus-minus rating of just about a +1 per contest. And you think about the goaltending for Idaho, Well, it's not just one thing. They've got an amazing defensive unit, and they've got forwards, all three forward lines, and even their 10th and 11th forwards seem like they can score quite a bit. The Idaho team save percentage this season is .930. It doesn't matter whether it's Jake Kupski in net or Remy Poirier or Adam Scheel. The Idaho goaltenders just find a way to stop the puck from ending up in the back of their net. So you put it all together, that's why Idaho's in first place by a wide margin in the Mountain Division. And you look at the Mountain Division standings right now, Idaho obviously on top with 41 standings points and an .854 winning percentage. In second place, the league does go by standings points, even though obviously teams have played, an odd number of games. Wichita is in second place with 28 standings points. Rapid City is in third with 26. The Grizzlies right now would face Idaho in the first round of the Mountain Division playoffs. They would be the 4th seed. They've got 22 standings points and a .478 winning percentage. Kansas City is in 5th with 21 standings points and a .477 winning percentage. Tulsa is in 6th with 19 points and a .432 points percentage. And the Allen Americans are bringing up the rear with 15 standings points and a .341 winning percentage. It's going to be interesting for the Grizzlies tonight as they try to extend their winning streak to 3 games. Idaho's trying to extend their winning streak to 7. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the first of 2 games here in Boise. And yes, I am in Idaho Central Arena. Looking out, it looks like a great crowd, especially for a Wednesday night. They're expecting close to a sellout, if not a full sellout. So remember, if you're a Grizzlies fan that wants to come out and see the team in Boise, you're going to want to make sure you get your tickets early because this place always sells out or comes close to it. They average about 5,300. That's about the attendance. That's about the capacity here at Idaho Central Arena. Kind of a smaller barn, but one of the best ones in the league. We're not quite sure who the starters are as of yet, but it'll be interesting to see where what the starting lineups are going to be for the Grizzlies. And when we come back in 1 minute, we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Actually, Guy Krenza, who's back in Salt Lake City, it lets me know that we're okay on YouTube. Hey, he's the one that's checking it out to make sure there's no technical difficulties on the YouTube feed. Obviously, Jamie Manning here in Idaho will keep us abreast of any issues on Flow Sports here this evening as we're hanging out here at Idaho Central Arena. We're not sure who the starters are yet for both teams, but I do know that the Grizzlies are going with 10 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight, with goaltender Lucas Preet getting the start. He's got a record of 3-4 this season with 1 shutout that came last Sunday against Kansas City, a 2.44 goals against average and .924 save percentage. 10 forwards for the Grizzlies tonight. The top forward line is going to have Taryn Pfizer, who was outstanding with a +3 rating against Kansas City. In 17 games, he's got 8 goals and 4 assists. He'll be lined up next to Tyler Penner, who's a first-line center. He's got 5 goals in his last 9 games. Penner's got a goal in back-to-back games, and he's been outstanding for the Grizzlies over the last 9 contests. And Jordan Martell, there's a baseball pitcher named Johnny Martell that I must know from somewhere, but Jordan Martell has 7 points in 15 games overall. It's his 3rd game as a member of the Grizzlies. Dakota Raby's got a point in 9 of his last 10 games, 3 goals and 9 assists in his last 10. He'll be lined up next to Keaton Jamison, who might have been the best of all the Grizzlies last weekend against Kansas City. He had 4 points in 2 games last weekend, including a Gordie Howe hat trick last Saturday. And we'll also see Cameron Wright, who leads the Grizzlies in shots on goal with 71. So the second line forwards are Raby, Jamison, and Wright. We'll also see Dylan Fitz in there wearing number 13. He's got 3 goals and 4 assists in 23 games. Cam Strong has 1 goal and 2 assists in 21 games. And Vladislav Mikalchuk, who's got a goal in back-to-back games, a 2-game goal-scoring streak. He's got 3 overall this season in 17 games. Before joining the Grizzlies, he played a handful of games with the Adirondack Thunder. And we'll also see Joey Kulitarchi acting as a forward tonight. So 10 forwards for the Grizzlies. One noticeable absence as Johnny Walker, who leads the club with 9 goals, is out due to injuries. We won't see Walker in there tonight. We also won't see Bryson Martin in the Grizzlies lineup for a few weeks as he got injured. He missed the Kansas City series, so it was either in practice or it was during the Jacksonville series that he got injured. 7 defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight. James Shearer, who's my pick to click. He was my pick to click last week, and he's kind of a perennial pick to click. We'll get to my pick to click here shortly, but James Shearer wearing number 10. It's his 3rd game back from injury and 6 overall this season. He'll be lined up next to the captain, Connor McDonald, who's got 2 goals and 3 assists in 22 games. Victor Bartley's going to be paired up with Kyle Pouncey. Those guys were outstanding last weekend. And we'll also see Corey Thomas, a former Idaho Steelhead, back in town, and he'll be lined up next to Aaron Tho. Tho had a pretty good series against Kansas City. And we'll also see Andrew Nilsson, who missed 2 straight games. Nilsson is back in the Grizzlies lineup as Utah has taken the ice here, and so has Idaho. Go to my YouTube or go to my Twitter account, @TysonOnSports, to find out what the Grizzlies uniforms look like tonight. It's the first time the Grizzlies have ever worn these jerseys. It's a black jersey with professional green numbers, white lettering in the back, white trim, a little bit of green mixed in on the arms. They're at the elbow, and it's a sharp-looking 3rd jersey that's going to be debuted here tonight for the Grizzlies. And go to my social media account, @TysonOnSports. I took a picture of Jordan Martell's jersey earlier today if you want to find out just what those jerseys look like. Well, the PA announcer is announcing the starting lineup for the Idaho Steelheads. And let's see what it is tonight. It looks like Jordan Kawaguchi is going to be one starting forward for the Steelheads. Kawaguchi this season has 10 goals and 7 assists in 18 games. Wade Murphy's also going to be in there wearing number 6. He's got 4 goals and 9 assists. He's wearing number 6. We'll also see A.J. White, the former Grizzly, in the starting lineup. He is the Idaho captain. He's got 18 points in 24 games. The defensive pairing is going to be Cody Heiskanen. Heiskanen has 7 assists in 13 games. He's got a plus 15 rating. And Matt Register, who leads the league with a plus 26 rating. So the starting 5 for these Steelheads. The forwards are Kawaguchi, White, and Murphy. The starting defensive pairing is Heiskanen and Register. And Adam Shields is going to be the starting goaltender for Idaho. The starting forwards for the Grizzlies are going to be Taryn Pfizer, Tyler Penner, and Jordan Martell. The starting defensive pairing is going to be James Shearer and the captain, Connor McDonald. When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll have face-off here at Idaho Central Arena. It's an outstanding night for hockey and a great day for 2 standings points as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the first of 5 straight between the clubs in the first of a 2-game set here in Boise. We're back in 2 minutes for face-off here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick 6 or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. and I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's a great night for hockey here at Idaho Central Arena as the Grizzlies wearing their third jersey for the first time. Go to my social media account at Tyson on Sports to find out what they look like. The starting offensive pairing is Connor McDonald and James Shearer. The starting forwards are Jordan Martell, Tyler Penner, and Taryn Pfizer. And the starting goaltender for the Grizzlies is Lucas Preek, making his 8th appearance this season. He's got a record of 3-4 with one shutout, which came last Sunday. Starting in net for Idaho is going to be Adam Schill. He's got a record of 7-1. He's 6'3" and 192 pounds. He'll be wearing number 35. Jake Jackson's a referee tonight. He's at center ice. He drops the puck and we're underway as the Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from high atop section 203 in Boise. As James Shearer back in the left side will feed it ahead to Pfizer at neutral ice. Taryn crosses center. He'll toss it to his left for Penner, who dumps it in. Schill plays it behind his net as he cuts it off. Throws it towards Kawaguchi. It goes past him. Right point, McDonald shot, and it gets blocked. A.J. White will skate towards the Grizzlies zone. He gets it in the left wing. Skates towards the circle. Toe drag on Shearer, and he gets tripped up by McDonald. No call on the play. As Heiskanen will feed it back towards Kawaguchi, who gets to Heiskanen, who skates around the Utah net. Heiskanen back to the left side as he'll skate to the left point, gets the register. Now back across to Heiskanen. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Preek. Rebound goes out to the near side. Pfizer will clear the zone as Matt Register will chase after it in the Steelhead zone. Heiskanen gets there first. Both teams make their first line change of the game. About 50 seconds in, still no score. Idaho took the first shot, which was taken by Cody Heiskanen. Heiskanen in his own zone being challenged by Dakota Raby, who's got a .9 of his last 10. Utah picks it off as they get blasted along the far wing boards. It goes out to center ice. Kyle Pouncey, right wing, gains the offensive line and dumps it around. Keaton Jamison chases after it as he collides with Heiskanen, who's still on the ice after a long shift. As Register will feed it ahead towards center ice for Jack Becker. Make that Willie Nearham, number 29. Jack Becker was in the area. He's on the ice along with Jade Miller. Now it goes back to Becker, who's got 4 goals and 13 assists this season. He crosses center ice and dumps it in. Bounces behind Utah's net as Preek gets it. He'll glide it along the far wing boards. Idaho in the offensive zone, which is on the left side of the ice if you're watching on Flow Sports. As the Steelheads will throw it from one corner to the other. Utah chases after it. Dylan Fitz in his first shift of the game drops it back off. Jade Miller around the net. Now he's to the right side. Shot. Saved by Preek. And Lucas holds on. 18-16 left in the second, or left in the first. Idaho's already up to 2 shots. My pick to click tonight is going to be Cameron Wright, who leads the Grizzlies in shots on goal. Wright right now has 16 points, which is the most among Grizzlies forwards. And he also has 6 power play assists. So watch out for Cameron Wright tonight. Everybody make your pick to click on the YouTube live chat. And this dude's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies. Ryan Domowski will take the draw, and he wins it against Utah. Right point, Steelheads with a shot that gets kicked off a Grizzlies skate and goes towards the near corner. Idaho looks to center, but nobody home. The former Steelhead Corey Thomas was in the area. Grizzlies will bounce it off the far glass, and it goes out of play as the draw comes back towards Lucas Preek, and we get a whistle with 18:03 left in the first. We're still early on, so thanks for joining us here. Pull up a chair and enjoy a little bit of Wednesday with us. As Cam Strong will take the face off, he's got Dylan Fitz out there. Fitz on the right side. Watch out for him. Vladislav Mikalchuk also on the ice. He's got a goal in 2 straight games. Now it's the right side. Idaho wins the draw. Domowski with a shot that goes wide. Now Casey Johnson will feed it around the boards. Johnson, a defenseman for Idaho, wearing number 13. Utah pitches ahead towards center ice. Mikalchuk over to the left point. Cam Strong with a lefty shot that goes wide. Taken by Aaron Tho. Tho with a lefty shot that goes wide. Grizzlies keep it in the left point. As Fitz trying to kick it back towards Tho. It bounced off the Steelhead. Now Domowski crosses center ice and drives it around the boards. They'll make that Antonio Strongis, number 10. First time the Grizzlies have faced him. He's got an NHL entry-level deal. He'll come off the ice as Idaho peels back into their own zone as Casey Johnson will feed it across to Nick Canati, who's got good speed. He'll bounce it off the far boards to Zane Franklin. Back to Canati, right point, shot, and it gets blocked by Shearer. Canati in the corner, tries to bounce it towards Zach Walker, who's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 17 games. Grizzlies with a rink-wide pass. They enter the offensive zone, but it would have been a delayed offside, so Jordan Martell lets Idaho touch it. Now Martell gets stripped up and neutralized. A.J. White will feed it across to Zach Walker. He crosses center ice. He gets it poked away by Pfizer. Now Heiskanen back to Walker. He enters from the right side. Franklin skates towards the right circle. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Parikh. Now left wing. Register will bounce it towards Walker. It glances off his stick. Connor McDonald will tap it off the far glass, and it goes out of play into section 111 as the draw is going to stay in the Grizzlies zone as they get a new puck from the linesman gets a new puck. The linesmen tonight are Scott DeBaugh and Eric Landquist. 16:48 left in the first, still no score. Idaho's up to 3 shots. The Grizzlies have yet to take one. Jack Becker will take the draw against Keaton Jamison, who got the Grizzlies' first Gordie Howe hat trick of the year last Saturday against Kansas City. Grizz win the draw. Dakota Raby will skate towards center ice. He gets divorced in the puck. Now he gets it back from Heiskanen and dumps it in. Adam Schill cuts it off just to the far side of his net. Idaho skating from right to left will get it towards Wade Murphy. This will backhand it out towards center ice. It glances off the Pouncey stick and goes to Andrew Nilsson. Back after missing 2 straight. Turnover. Idaho skates down the middle. Over in front of the crease. Shot saved by Parikh. Now the Grizzlies. Cameron Wright skates along the near side. He crosses center ice and dumps it in. Wright tries to get around Matt Register, holds him up a little bit. Heiskanen avoids a check behind the Idaho net. He keeps the puck. He'll nudge it ahead. Now he'll feed it out towards Kawaguchi at center ice, who gets it. Kawaguchi drops off for Becker. He'll take a righty shot, and he scores! Jack Becker gets his 5th of the year as he went stick side on Lucas Parikh, and he went hot top shelf where Mama hides the cookie jars. The Steelheads have taken the first 4 shots tonight, and they throw the fish on the ice in the Grizzlies zone, which they do every time they score their first goal here at home. Somebody picks up the fish. They skate towards center ice. They get on one knee and genuflect towards the fish and raise the fish high into the air as the Steelheads get their first goal of the game as Jack Becker gets his 5th of the year. Draw's going to be at center ice. That's Becker's 4th goal against the Grizzlies this season. So 4 of Becker's 5 goals this year have come against Utah. He played his college hockey at the University of Michigan, but last season was a graduate transfer and played at Arizona State, where he was a teammate of Johnny Walker's. Walker not in the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight. Idaho wins the faceoff. They feed it out towards center ice. One-time tap bounces off of Victor Bartley, who feeds it ahead from blue line to blue line. It's taken by Idaho at their blue line as they pass it up ahead towards Jade Miller, dumps it in. Puck glides along the boards. Victor Bartley cuts it off behind Parikh. Now the Grizzlies will toss it ahead towards Cam Strong. Ahead to Colatarchi, who's playing forward tonight. He'll feed it out towards the Steelhead zone. That's taken by Dawson Bardo, who wears number 51. He'll feed it ahead as the Steelheads cross center ice. They'll feed it across off the near boards looking for Patrick Kudla. Goes past him as Utah overskates the puck. Now right wing, lefty shot. Saved by Parikh. And he holds on with 15:27 left in the first. The first 5 shots of the game have been taken by the Idaho Steelheads. And that's not a complete surprise considering that Idaho leads the league in shots per game at 36.6. The Grizzlies towards the bottom of the league in shots allowed per game at 33.9. Tyler Penner will take the draw against A.J. White. Steelheads lead 1-0, 15:27 left in the first. And the draw won by Idaho. Nick Canati, right wing shot, saved by Parikh, and Lucas will throw the puck towards the far corner. Now Idaho gets it right circle as Ryan Domowski. I tried to feather it out in front to White, but it's cut off by Parikh, who covers up in the crease. As now Idaho's up to 6 shots on Lucas Parikh. 15:17 left in the first. Even in the 2-game sweep that the Grizzlies had against Kansas City did outshoot Utah in both games. Got close to a sellout here tonight, about 5,200. As Idaho wins the draw, they feed it up top for Nick Canati. He'll bounce it off of Pfizer's stick, and it goes to Penner, who feeds it back towards Pfizer. Pfizer gets knocked down by Nick Canati, and that could have been a penalty, but none was called as we continue to skate 5-on-5 as Penner dumps it ahead. Taken by Idaho as Casey Johnson will skate back towards his end boards. He's battling with Jordan Martell. Johnson gets blasted in the corner. Martell gets the puck, but he gets blasted by A.J. White. Martell keeps his feet as they throw it ahead. Connor McDonald on the right point kept the puck in the offensive zone. He'll feed it across to Shearer. James will bounce it off the end wall. Penner, right corner. I tried to center it to Pfizer. Glanced off of him and rolls back towards the far corner. Martell feeds it up top. Idaho picks it off. A.J. White trying to hit Domowski at center ice. That pass is wide. Now Penner gets it left wing center ice and drives it around the boards as Cameron Wright cuts in front of Zane Franklin, but Idaho's got the puck in the corner as Casey Johnson, who got a Gordie Howe hat trick against the Grizzlies last year, he'll throw it towards center ice looking for Franklin. Now Becker gets it. He'll throw it to Zach Walker. Good poke check by Keaton Jamison. It goes towards the near corner of the Grizzlies zone. Now Raby will feed it out to the far side. Idaho still in control of the puck. Becker righty shot. Saved by Parikh. Taken by Heiskanen. Right side back to Becker. Becker's got 4 goals against the Grizzlies this year, including one tonight. He'll skate towards the far corner. Grizzlies will nudge it along the far wing boards to Dakota Raby. Now to Wright, 2-on-2. They cross center ice. Wright will bounce it off a Steelhead skate, and it goes back to Utah's Kyle Pouncey. Will drive it out to center ice for Cameron Wright, who will feed it in as it bounces off the end wall and taken by Matt Register. And his long stick will get it over to Cody Heiskanen. Now ahead to Zane Franklin along the far wing boards. He'll feed it across to Becker. It glanced off his stick and goes into the Grizzlies zone. Big time collision between Aaron Tho and Jack Becker. As now Dakota Raby gets hit pretty hard by Zane Franklin. Puck squirts towards center ice near the bench area. Both teams battle. Idaho comes out of it with the puck. As Register over towards Kawaguchi. Play starting to get physical as Tho had some words for Zane Franklin as Franklin went to the bench. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone as Michalczyk gets hit from behind. Cutler with a shot that's blocked by Cam Strong. And it goes towards the Idaho blue line. Strong chases after it, but Dawson Bardo got there first. Wade Murphy almost collided with his teammate Cutler. Cutler takes the pass. He'll throw a right wing pass to Ryan Domowski. Will dump it around the boards. As now it's Kawaguchi back at his offensive goal line as he's one-on-one with James Shearer. Shearer gets the puck as you talk about sound defenseman. That's James Shearer as it goes to the near corner. Now back to Wade Murphy. He'll skate towards his right. He'll take a shot. Saved by Parikh. Rebound goes out to Utah. Bartley will throw it towards the near wing boards. And now Domowski with a shot. It's blocked by Strong as it goes out towards center ice. As Fitz will bounce off the skate of Michalczyk. Now goes back to Domowski. He lost the puck as he was skating towards the right circle. Grizzlies will nudge it ahead. Now to center ice looking for Michalczyk. It's behind him. 12.5 minutes left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0 as Jack Becker got his 5th of the year. Cutler around center ice, now backing out into his own zone with the puck. Now he'll start the attack skating north-south. He's got a +9 rating this season, 5 goals and 19 assists. Now Willie Niram will throw it towards the slot of the Grizzly zone, taken back by Shearer. Now McDonald. He'll feed it off the far wing boards for Penner. Now to Martell. Grizzlies still in their own zone. Martell feeds it across, bouncing puck over McDonald's stick. Connor gets it near the Grizzlies bench. He'll throw it across. It bounces off the glass and goes to Jordan Martell. He's in the offensive zone as he'll skate towards the corner. Now back to the point. Now another Grizzly gets it and his flies over to Martell. He'll veer off to the left circle, take a righty shot. Glove saved by Shield. That is Utah's first shot on goal with 11:44 left in the first. Idaho's outshot Utah 8-1. They lead 1-0 on Jack Becker's 5th of the year. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 1-0. Jack Becker scored .353 in his 5th goal of the season. Jordan Kawaguchi got his 8th assist. Idaho's outshot Utah 8-1. Jordan Martell, right before the timeout, took Utah's first shot of the game. It's a draw won by the Grizzlies, but it goes between the Utah defensemen. It goes all the way back in the Grizzlies zone. Utah chases after it. We've been skating 5-on-5 this entire time. 11 minutes and 32 seconds and counting. Idaho leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell skates along the left wing. He'll skate towards the circle. He's got good speed. Backhand shot goes wide. Martell looking for his first goal of the season. Started the year with Fort Wayne. Now goes back to Andrew Nilsson in the Grizzly zone. He'll feed it across to Pouncey. Now back to Nilsson at neutral ice. Andrew across the center left wing. He'll throw it to Pfizer down the middle. Pfizer gets around a skater. He gets held up. Allen draws a penalty. Pfizer gets hit. Casey Johnson touches up the puck, and Casey Johnson is going to go to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for tripping as Taryn Pfizer and his speed and playmaking ability draws another penalty. No, it's not Johnson. It's Nick Canati who got the penalty for tripping. As he's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Utah's power play this season is 21.6%. In fact, over the last 17 games, the Grizzlies are 26.8% at 22 for 82. Idaho's penalty kill, though, 86.9%. As Utah wins the draw, Andrew Nelson, right point, skates towards his left. He leads the league in power play points over to Martell. One-timer saved by Schill. Boy, that was a blast by Martell just outside the left circle. Andrew Nelson's a guy quarterbacking this power play shift, and that for good reason. He leads the league with 13 power play assists and 15 power play points. Jamison will take the face off. He's got Martell to his left and right to his right. Pfizer and Nielsen up top. So the Grizzlies are taking the last 2 shots after Idaho took the first 8. Utah wins the draw. Nielsen across to Pfizer. Grizzlies wearing their 3rd jersey for the first time. Right over to Martell on the left side. Martell gets the puck as he skates just outside the left circle. Now towards the corner. Now he feeds it up top to Nielsen. Across to Pfizer on the right side. Pfizer over to right. He'll take a shot. Kick saved by Shield. Rebound goes to Idaho to the right side as Matt Register battles with right. As Keaton Jamison gets the puck, he'll feed it to the left side off the boards for Nielsen. Andrew with the blue line just behind him. Feeds it to Pfizer on the right side. Pfizer skates towards the circle. Take a shot on. He hits the pipe. The iron unkind as it rolls along the far wing boards and out towards Lucas Perique, who skates towards the far corner. Both teams make a line change as Pfizer missed tying up the game by just that much. As Grizzlies make a line change, so did the Steelheads. Victor Bartley will feed it ahead. Dakota Raby crosses center ice with speed. He gains the offensive line and veers off to the left. Grizzlies get it back towards Fitz. Now up top to Tho. Over to Bartley. Woodsheimer. Saved by Schill. Rebound out in front. Grizzlies backhand shot on. It goes wide. That was taken by Fitz. Now Tho. Down to the high slot. Fakes a shot. Now he takes a lefty shot. Glove saved by Schill. And he holds on. 9:52 left in the first period. 44 seconds left in the Grizzlies' first power play of the afternoon or the evening. And after Idaho took the first 8 shots, the Grizzlies have responded with six shots of their own. One right before the timeout. And here in this segment of play, the first 5 shots. Grizzlies make a line change and get Jamison back out there taking the face-off with Martell and Pfizer up top. Right and Pfizer up top. Martell is back with Andrew Nelson. Draw one by the Grizzlies. Andrew Nelson, right side, fakes a shot. Now feed it towards Pfizer. Back to Nelson. He'll get it to Martell. One-timer. Saved by Schill. Rebound goes to Dawson Bardo as he's behind the end wall getting held. He's holding up Cameron Wright. Now skating over is Jamison, looking for a wraparound, and rolls towards Adam Schill, who covers up. They count that as a shot, and so the Grizzlies have taken the last 7 shots after Idaho's taken the first 8. 28 seconds still left in the Grizzlies' first power play of the game. Idaho leads 1-0. Steelheads make a line change. Grizzlies keep the same 5-man unit out there. Ryan Domowski has 13 goals and 17 assists this season. He's going to take the draw against Keaton Jamison. And the draw won by Jamison. Grizzlies doing a good job in the faceoff circle. Pfizer on the right side. He'll nudge it ahead to right. He'll take a shot. He gets tripped up and he gets blocked. Idaho clears it out into the Grizzlies zone. Utah chasing after it. Grizz get it. Martell will get it over to Andrew Nilsson. Martell's nickname is the Rooster. As Nilsson skates down the middle. Now feed it back to Cameron Wright. Less than 10 seconds left in the power plays. Pfizer over to right. He'll gain the offensive line. Dropping off from Martell on the left point. He tried to center. Idaho picked it off, and we're back to full strength as Nick Canati out of the penalty box after serving his tripping minor. Preek behind his own net. We'll get it to right as the Grizzlies 0 for 1 on the power play. Idaho's yet to have one. Sure, we'll get it over to Pfizer is behind Preek's net. Grizzlies will spread the ice. Less than 9 minutes left in the first period. Grizzlies jerseys are black with professional green numbers and white trim. White on the letters as well. Grizzlies, Cam Strong, crosses center ice with speed. He'll lift it to the right side for McCallchuck. McCallchuck skates towards the corner, takes a sharp angled shot that goes wide. Taken by Sure, swung and missed. A.J. White gets he's got a breakaway. White will skate down the middle. He'll center it over towards Domowski, back towards White, and he couldn't quite handle it. Make that Antonio Stranges. Now to the right side. Stranges with a shot, saved by Preek. As Preek was over on the right, Stranges was over on the right side. Preek was able to make a routine save. 8:23 left in the first. Idaho still leads 1-0. Idaho 9 shots to the Grizzlies 7. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Draws going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Idaho leads 1-0. 8:23 left in the first period. Jack Becker scored .357 in with Jordan Kawaguchi getting the assist. Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play. Idaho's yet to go on the power play here on a Wednesday night. First of 5 straight between these clubs. Idaho's got a record of 23-0-1 as Sam Franklin gets hit after Idaho won the faceoff. Now Strangis will feed it out to center ice. Bardo will back it out with Kudla as the Steelheads were in the offensive zone and just decide to restart the attack. Bardo will feed it across off the boards looking for White, passes wide of the mark, and Victor Bartley gets it. Bartley surveys. He'll feed it towards the middle for Corey Thomas. Now he'll get it to center ice looking for Dylan Fitz. Fitz thought he got a piece of it, and he did. No icing on the play as McCallchuck will skate towards the left point. He'll feed it back up top. Utah centers it, and Idaho picks it off as Strangis. Antonio's his first name. Right circle, take a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Patrick Kudla, number 47, feeds up top to Bardo. Back to Kudla. Kudla skates towards the left circle. Now he veers off into the corner. Kudla at the goal line, skates around the net. And now he's on the right side. He'll get it up top to Bardo as Idaho skating from right to left in the first period. Bardo over to Zane Franklin, the former Allen American. Back to Bardo. Righty shot. Blocker saved by Preek, and it goes to the near corner. Corey Thomas, who spent part of last season with the Steelheads, will bounce it off the near glass. It goes into the Steelhead zone. Dawson Bardo chasing after it. Both teams make a line change. 7:12 and counting left in the first. Idaho leads 1-0. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 10-7. Pass the near side. It's taken by Nick Canati. He'll cross center ice and he'll bounce it to Wade Murphy, who will drive it in. Chasing after it is Andrew Nilsson. He'll throw it towards the far side for Cameron Wright. He gets hit from behind. Now Dakota Raby gets it. 2-on-3. Raby enters the zone. He'll skate towards the left corner. Gets hit by Canati. Now another Grizzly takes it and they immediately lose it. Now pass bounces off of Jamison. Idaho will throw it over towards the middle. It's in Steelhead zone. Taken by Raby. Backhand shot. Saved by Shield. Idaho clears as they lift it over the head of Kyle Pouncey. Andrew Nilsson chasing after it. He's got Kawaguchi behind him. Nilsson over to Pouncey. Deep in the Grizzly zone. He skates behind Preek's net. Now he'll start skating north-south. Pouncey in the long strides ahead to Jordan Martell at center ice. Martell gains the offensive line, gets around Heiskanen. Martell now around the net. I try to feather it. Centering pass. Shot to score! What a pass by Jordan Martell as he finds Dakota Raby out in front. Raby puts it away as the Grizzlies have tied it up. Raby gets his 5th goal of the season. He now has a point in 10 of his last 11 games. And what a play by the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who I imagine is going to become a fan favorite. Martell looking at the video board here at Idaho Central Arena to see just exactly what he did. Boy, what a move. He was skating towards his right and then just kind of cut a pass against the grain behind the net to Raby, and Raby put it away. What a pass by Martell. One of the best passes I've seen a Grizzlies player make this season. As we're tied at 1, Dakota Raby's 5th goal of the year, and Jordan Martell picking up his 8th assist of the season and 2nd in a Grizzlies uniform. Martell gains the offensive line, right side, feeds it across to Penner, but it goes through his legs. Penner around to Martell's behind the net. He'll get it to the near side for Pfizer. Now up top to McDonald. McDonald will skate towards his left. He'll take a shot, and it gets blocked. Now Pfizer skates towards the left circle. Now Martell feeds it across off the boards to McDonald. Connor with a sharp angled shot that goes high. Stays in play as Pfizer, left point, will fire a shot that bounced off the Steelhead. Now Penner behind the net. I tried to find McDonald out in front. Idaho will feed it back towards the right corner. As holding up in the corner, Penner over there along Raby. Fitz delivers a hit, goes back to McDonald. Connor gets it back to Fitz. Right wing shot, saved by Shield. That was Fitz over near the corner, firing a tough angled shot, but Shield was able to make the save. 5:24 left in the first period. Jordan Martell with an amazing pass to Dakota Raby to tie up the game. Both teams have taken 10 shots here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto. .24 left in the first period. Idaho took the first 8 shots. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 10-2 since then. Dakota Raby with his 5th goal this season. Jordan Martell picking up his 2nd assist in a Grizzlies uniform. Time of that goal, 13:44 into the first. We're tied at 1. 5:24 left in the first. Offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. Well, it seemed like the first 5 minutes, all the action was near Lucas Preek's net, and it seemed like recently, and really the tide changed with the power play the Grizzlies have, even though they didn't score on it. Action's been more towards the Steelhead zone last couple segments of plays. Aaron Thoe at center ice will dump it in. McCallchuck chases after it as he's being shadowed by Kudla. McCallchuck will skate towards the right point, trying to throw it back to the corner, taken away by Kudla. Now the Steelheads over towards Strongis. He'll dump it in as Preek just to the side of his net gives it to Bartley. Victor with an outlet pass to Fitz. It bounces off of his stick. Goes back to Idaho as Kudla at neutral ice will feed it back to Bardo. Bardo, wearing number 51, will nudge it ahead to Zach Walker. He's got a similar hairstyle to Franklin. Over to Demowski. He'll take a shot blocked by McCallchuck. McCallchuck felt like he smarted that one a little bit. That one hurt. As it goes towards the near side, Kudla will feed it across to Bardo. Well, the puck, I thought, exited the zone, but the linesman said no. As over in the near corner, Grizzlies get it. Strong will feed it across to Bartley around the net. Bartley with an outlet pass. It bounces off of Strongis. Goes back to Walker. Now to Dawson Bardo in the Steelhead zone as Idaho makes a line change. So do the Grizzlies. Idaho out towards center ice for A.J. White. Now ahead to Wade Murphy. He tried to throw it to the corner on the far side. Nilsson picks it off. Andrew will throw it to center ice for Jamison. Left wing, he'll drive it around the boards. It's cut off by Adam Shield wearing number 35. He'll get it to Casey Johnson. Now the Steelheads over to Kawaguchi. Ahead to Kanadi. He'll feed it to center ice. It bounces off a Pouncy stick. Kanadi gets it back and dumps it in. Preek will drive it along the far boards. It stays in the corner as the referee trying to get out of the way. Today it's Jake Jackson. Now ahead to Raby. Dakota crosses center ice and he'll lift it in the air as it bounces on one hop off the left corner. Over on the far side, Idaho rolls it back around for Kawaguchi, and he'll feed it back towards his corner for Casey Johnson, who gets hit by Cameron Wright. Now the Grizzlies battling the corner. Kawaguchi pokes it away from Raby. Now the Steelheads nudge it ahead. A.J. White, the captain, he trying to hit Kawaguchi at neutral ice. The pass was wide of the mark. Shearer dumps it back in. Johnson bouncing off the far glass, and now the Steelheads back at neutral ice. Wade Murphy with a left wing pass to Jack Becker. Did he get a piece of it? No, says the linesman. Icing is on the Steelheads with 3:12 left here in the first period. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. That's where you can find out what the Grizzlies jerseys look like tonight. Corey Thomas out there as one defenseman with Victor Bartley. Grizzlies going with 10 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. Joey Colatarchi acting as a forward. As Tyler Penner will take the draw. He's got Pfizer to his right and Martell to his left. Both teams have taken 10 shots. That's amazing considering Idaho took the first 8. Idaho wins the draw. Nick Kanadi will throw it towards center ice. Martell trying to cut it off. Now Kawaguchi tried to nudge it ahead to Murphy, and Thomas picked it off. Grizzlies out to neutral ice. Tyler Penner dumps it in off his stick, and it flies into the Steelhead zone. Idaho will lift it back out towards center ice. Thomas will feed it back to Bartley. Will peel back towards the Grizzlies' blue line. Penner nudges ahead. Now Idaho gets it as Jade Miller dumps it in. The former South Carolina Stingray. Preek behind his net will feed it towards the far corner. It goes past one Grizzly. On to Martell. Feeds it across looking for Pfizer. It's taken away by Willie Neerum. Neerum gains the line. Left circle. Takes a shot and it's blocked by Thomas. Now Miller tried to center it. Hits off a Preek, and Lucas dives to cover up with 2:29 left in the first. Draw's going to be in the Grizzly zone. Kyle Pouncey will take the ice. He's going to be paired up with Andrew Nilsson as those guys talk it over. Raby, Jamison, and Wright are going to be the forwards for the Grizzlies. Idaho wearing a white jersey tonight with black numbers, a little bit of blue mixed in the arms. Trees in the side of the jersey. It's a similar look to what they've had over the last handful of years with their home whites. Becker will take the draw. He's got Idaho's goal. He scored .357 in. 4 of his 5 goals this season have been against the Grizzlies. Utah wins the draw. Pouncey feeds it across to Jamison. Keaton crosses center ice left wing. He'll dump it in. Idaho is able to get back defensively, so the Grizzlies didn't have numbers entering the offensive zone. As Idaho feeds it back towards Becker, he gets it taken away by Raby, his college teammate at Michigan. Raby nudges it into the Steelhead zone where it's taken by Matt Register. He'll feed it across towards the Idaho blue line, poked by a Grizzly, now taken by Willie Nerum. So feed it ahead to Cody Haskinen. Whistle blows. And looks like offside is being called on the Steelheads. It was a delayed offside, and Idaho touched up the puck first. Or maybe Utah touched it up as it was entering into the Steelhead zone. As the draw is going to be towards center ice. The referee looking over to make sure both teams are able to make their line change. And even 2 minutes are left in the first period. Draw at neutral ice is going to be won by the Steelheads as Kudla over towards Domowski, back to Kudla. He'll feed it from one blue line to the other. It's taken by Domowski. He'll skate towards the right circle. Centering pass, shot and a score! Ryan Domowski with the centering pass out in front to Colton Keller, and Keller somehow was able to get the puck off the stick to kind of lift a little bit and over the shoulder of Lucas Parikh. So Colton Keller gets his 11th goal of the season, and the Steelheads retake the lead. It's a 2-1 game. Great pass by Ryan Domowski from the right point as Keller was cutting towards the net. For Domowski, that's his 18th assist of the season. And it just kind of was one of those centering passes that got to Keller's stick and just kind of lifted on him a little bit. And the angle just kind of went over the shoulder of Lucas Parikh and into the back of his net. As the draw won by Utah at center ice, they skate towards the left side. Shot, saved by Schill. I don't know how Dylan Fitz was able to keep the puck after getting around a Steelhead skater, but he was able to get a good look from the left circle. Schill makes the save, and after the whistle, some pushing and shoving. Cam Strong battling for position. Mikalchuk over there as well, as Cam Strong was one of those guys who's been an energy player for the Grizzlies this season. Somebody who has good speed, and he's able to finish checks and really do a good job on the Grizzlies' third line of doing some of the little things. I know that obviously you're thinking about scoring points, but Cam Strong's doing other things that's really helped the Grizzlies over the last few weeks. Draw's going to be in the left circle, and it's won by Idaho as Patrick Kudla will bounce it off the far glass. Puck lifts high into the air, bounces at the Utah blue line. Zane Franklin will feed it towards the near boards. Franklin gets hit by McDonald. Connor tries to clear it out. It hits off of Franklin. Now behind the Grizzlies net, A.J. White skates towards the far side. Now White veers off to the corner. He feeds it up top. But the pass is wide to Patrick Kudla, and it goes all the way down towards Adam Schill. Fires an outlet pass out to neutral ice. White will back it out into the Steelhead zone. Idaho gets it to Kudla as he's on the near side. He'll feed it across to Bardo. He's at neutral ice. He'll feed it back to A.J. White at the Utah blue line. White centers it. It hits off of Corey Thomas. Now Penner will nudge it ahead as the Rooster, Jordan Martell, gets over to Penner. Now to Pfizer. Pfizer over to the left side. Skeets towards the circle. I got back checked by Idaho and got divorced in the puck. Pfizer in the near corner gets blasted by Zane Franklin. Pfizer loses his helmet as he's slow to get up. We resume live action. Oh no, Pfizer's hurt as he's grabbing his shoulder. That's unfortunate for the Grizzlies, who are already shorthanded. Now the whistle blows as Pfizer's injured. Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer, will check after him as he's skating slowly towards the bench. Taron Pfizer left some of his equipment in the corner. The Grizzlies are picking it up as Taron Pfizer got injured and immediately started grabbing his right shoulder. Pfizer will limp over into the locker room. That's unfortunate because as you think about a guy who was outstanding in the Kansas City series, Taron Pfizer got hit over towards the right corner as one of those where it just seemed like the brunt of the hit ended up going upper body. As Pfizer with an amazing move from the left side. Then he got pushed towards the boards by Franklin. And then Franklin with an aggressive hit, pushing Pfizer along the glass. Franklin's not going to get the benefit of the doubt among Grizzlies fans based on some of the stuff that we have seen from him in his days with the Allen Americans. Draw's going to be at neutral ice near the Idaho bench, but it did look like a clean hit. Just unfortunate that it looks like Pfizer's gotten injured from it. Grizzlies win the draw. Nilsson, left wing, will drive it around the boards. It's cut off by Shield behind the net. Now the Steelheads skating from right to left. They lead 2-1. They cross center ice. 22 seconds left in the first period. Right wing, they dump it in. As the Grizzlies feed it back towards the right corner. Centering pass towards Miller. Hits off of his skate. Goes back to Kawaguchi. Left point across to Haskinen. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. Now Jade Miller centers it over to Wade Murphy. He'll take a righty shot that goes wide. Andrew Nilsson around the net. He'll feed it towards Raby. Raby across to Cameron Wright, who crosses center ice. Wright, one-on-one, gets taken away by Haskinen as time runs out in the first period. Idaho leads 2-1, but we'll keep an eye on Taryn Pfizer, who got injured with about a minute left in the first period as he got thrown into the corner boards by Zane Franklin. We'll recap the first period, and we'll also talk some hockey, and we'll go over some of the player trends for the Grizzlies, who's been good for Utah, and we'll see who's been good for Idaho as we face them 5 straight times starting tonight, 2 here in Boise, and then 3 at Maverick Center next week. And we'll also talk about that homestand upcoming and what's some of the exciting stuff that's going to be happening at Maverick Center next weekend. First intermission, Idaho leads 2-1. We're back with the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report in 2 minutes on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. First intermission here at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-1. Idaho scored first. Jack Becker got his 5th of the year. 4th against the Grizzlies this season. Jordan Kawaguchi picked up his 8th assist. And at that point, the Idaho Steelheads led 1-0. Now, Idaho took the first 8 shots of the first period. The Grizzlies responded out, shooting Idaho 11-3 in the final 12 minutes of the first period. Grizzlies got on the board, and really what was an amazing play is Jordan Martell was skating to the left side, got around the Idaho net, stopped behind the net, and then he was skating from left to right, kind of stopped, and then fed it back to his left. Dakota Raby was out in front of the net, collected the pass, and then put it in the back of the net. Raby now has a point in 10 of his last 11 games. He gets his 5th goal of the season. The Rooster, Jordan Martell, with an assist in back-to-back games. As you think about a guy in Jordan Martell who had a pretty good career at the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League level. He played before Fort Wayne, 2 games at the end of last season. He had 2 goals and 1 assist against Wheeling on April 16th. Now, in 13 games with Fort Wayne earlier this season, he had no goals and 6 assists. He does seem like he's got some scoring potential. When the Grizzlies were on the power play, as there's only been one power play so far tonight, Nick Canati got a tripping minor, 8:51 in. That's when the score was 1-0. Looked like Jordan Martell was in the left circle, and he was kind of the finisher of the power play. And he's a guy that looks like he can connect on some one-timers. He's got some goal-scoring ability, as he showed in his junior league days. And I'm interested in seeing what he's able to do. A great first period for Jordan Martell in his third game in a Grizzlies uniform. And if you missed last week, he was acquired in a trade for Neil Robinson. Robinson now a member of the Fort Wayne Comets, and he's wearing number 94 for them. Jordan Martell wearing number 27 for the Grizzlies. So when Raby scored 13:44 into the first, that tied up the score at 1. Colton Keller gave the Steelheads a lead, 18-14 into the first, as Ryan Domowski gained the offensive line, stopped at the right point, centered it out in front to Keller, and it just kind of angled off of Keller's stick to the point where the puck just kind of wobbled over the shoulder of Lucas Preek and ended up in the back of the net. It was a really good play, and there's not much the Grizzlies can do about that. And when you're facing a team in Idaho who averages 4.3 goals per game, they're going to make some plays. You just can't get discouraged when they do make a play. You just have to find a way to move on to the next shift, move on to the next play, and find a way to make that play. Because, when you face a team like Idaho, and I got to imagine in some of the games that they have played, that just seems like the momentum just kind of builds, especially in this building with what looks like a sellout crowd. There's a couple empty seats wobbled here and there, but it looks like a near sellout, if not a full sellout here on a Wednesday night. And you think about Idaho, they're going to make plays. I mean, after all, their goal differential is plus 56 as we speak, with them holding the 2-1 lead. And so they're going to make some plays. You just can't get discouraged when they do make plays. You just have to continue to battle, continue to play hockey, and, maybe good things will happen. I think that's a part of the reason why the Grizzlies had some success against Idaho in the last series, and really why the Grizzlies are 2-2 in this building this year, is they don't get discouraged when a team like Idaho makes a play. They just move on to the next play. And, the Grizzlies, I think, for the most part, played a sound first period. And I think that it's interesting to see kind of the first 8 minutes where it seemed like all the action was in the Grizzlies zone. However, in the last 12 minutes, with a little bit of stretches here and there where Idaho had the puck, but it seemed like for the majority of the last 12 minutes of the first period, there's a lot more action in the Steelhead zone than there was in the Grizzlies zone. So we'll see what happens here in the second. And do remember that the second period is the best for the Grizzlies this season. You think about Utah, who was outstanding in the second period against Kansas City. They have outscored the opposition 30-20 in the second periods this season. So watch out for the middle frame, as Utah has been dominant in second periods this season. After Keller had scored, I think maybe one of the biggest stories, maybe the biggest story of the first period, Taryn Pfizer was thrown along the glass in the right corner of the Steelhead zone, and Zane Franklin threw him into the corner, and Pfizer came out of it injured. And it looked like for a few seconds he was trying to gather his bearings, and he was on the ice. Then he grabbed his shoulder, and he was injured. They had to stop play. His helmet was off, and so was his gloves. And he went to the locker room gingerly and is being checked out by the Grizzlies trainer, Colin Lee. And that's unfortunate, because think of Taryn Pfizer, who spent some time in the AHL with Colorado, but he's been one of the Grizzlies' best forwards. Think about in 17 games coming into play tonight, had 8 goals and 4 assists. So you're talking about a guy that has some playmaking ability, and we saw it in the first period, him drawing the penalty. The only power play so far really belonged to the Grizzlies because of the speed and playmaking of Taryn Pfizer. Got around an Idaho skater, and then they tripped him up. So you look at Taryn Pfizer, it's not just the points he scores, but it's drawing penalties. It's, being that guy over that's instrumental to the power play. We thought about Martell on the left side, but really on the right, it was Taryn Pfizer. How do you replace him on the power play the rest of the night if he can't go the final 2 periods? And then if he can't go Friday, how do you replace him there? Johnny Walker's out tonight, and that's not a healthy scratch. So hopefully Walker will be healthy enough to go at some point, but he's battling an injury. And, the Grizzlies are without Bryson Martin, but that's just something you got to deal with. I mean, Idaho's without a guy tonight, Owen Hedrick, who's got a 14-game point scoring streak. So it's just part of the game. Injuries are going to happen, and unfortunately for Taryn Pfizer, he got hurt in the final minute of the second period, and we are certainly hoping that he's going to be okay, but it didn't look great as he was skating off the ice with Colin Lee assisting him. So if that's the case, and the Grizzlies are going to be going with 9 forwards and 7 defensemen the rest of the way, Joey Kolatarchi, normally a defenseman, but he's played as much forward as he has defenseman, in a defenseman role this season. And obviously last year he's probably more of a forward than he was a defenseman. He'll probably have to play a few more shifts, taking up the place of Taryn Pfizer. It'll be interesting to see who ends up playing with Martell and Penner, because you talk about two of the Grizzlies' best forwards recently. I mean, Martell's only been here a couple games, but Martell looked good against Kansas City. But Tyler Penner has really been a forward that's stepped up and has really stepped into a role for the Grizzlies. And we knew that was going to happen, as Penner is one of 4 Grizzlies players who have appeared in every game this season. And think about with Johnny Walker, this is game 24 of the season. This is the first one that Walker has missed. So he's out of the Grizzlies lineup, and that means that there are only 3 players who've appeared in all 24 games this season, with this obviously being game 24. Dylan Fitz, Tyler Penner, and Dakota Raby are the only 3 players who appeared in all 24 games for the Grizzlies. Raby scored Utah's goal from Johnny Martell, 13:44 into the first period. It was sandwiched between 2 Idaho goals. Jack Becker, 3:53 in, and Colton Keller on a centering pass from Ryan Domowski, 18:14 in. Both teams with 11 shots in the first period. Keaton Jamison and Dakota Raby had 2 shots, but the leader in the clubhouse was Jordan Martell with 3. So 3 shots for Martell, 2 for Jamison and Raby, and then 1 shot for Fitz, Walker, Tho, and Victor Bartley. The Idaho Steelheads and 11 shots on goal. 2 shots for Jade Miller, Jack Becker, and Zane Franklin. One of Becker's 2 shots found the back of the net, and then 1 shot for Nick Canati, Wade Murphy, Colton Keller. Keller's 1 shot found the back of the net, Dawson Bardo, and Cody Heiskanen. And really the defensive pairing that seems to have handled the puck the most for Idaho has been the law firm of Patrick Kudla and Dawson Bardo. Bardo's actually got an NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars. He's one of 4 Steelheads to have an NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars. Antonio Strangis, forward for Idaho. It's the first time we've seen him. And he's wearing number 10, 5'10", 168 pounds. He played for London in the OHL last season. He's got an NHL entry-level deal. Dawson Bardo does as well. He is only 22 years old as Bardo. He'll be 23 in a month. Actually, January 12th will be his 23rd birthday. He's wearing number 51. Spent a little bit of time with Texas in the AHL last year, as well as the Steelheads. And then the 2 goalies for the Steelheads both have NHL entry-level deals, Remy Poirier and Adam Scheel. As for the Grizzlies, you think about their roster, and they were able to get Taryn Pfizer and Cameron Wright back from the AHL. You look about the Grizzlies lineup, and right now, and a lot of it's due to injuries to the Colorado Avalanche, but the Grizzlies don't have as many affiliated players. Pfizer and Cameron Wright each have AHL contracts. So too does goaltender Lucas Preek. So 3 AHL contracts on the Grizzlies roster. Everybody else owns an ECHL contract. We talked about the 4 NHL contracts for the Steelheads coming from the Dallas Stars. And then there's another handful of guys who've got AHL contracts with the Texas Stars. Ryan Domowski and Jordan Kawaguchi, 2 forwards with AHL contracts. And then Owen Hedrick, who's not in the lineup tonight, but he's got a point in 14 straight games, a 14-game point scoring streak. I mean, we've been talking about Raby's point streak of 10 of his last 11 games, including tonight. But Owen Hedrick, 14-game point scoring streak. They think he might play Friday, but he's not in the lineup tonight. He's got an AHL contract with the Texas Stars. Idaho leads 2-1. First intermission, they're playing a lot of Christmas music here in Idaho. And looks like a great crowd, possible sellout. And they've sold out just about every home game this season. Now, keep in mind, their barn only holds about 5,300, but they've got some of the best fans in the league. Obviously, the Grizzlies fans are the best. And hey, it was great to see the Grizzlies showing a teddy bears. Now, I don't know the exact number of teddy bears there are because there's so many of them that they haven't been counted yet. So many teddy bears. It's actually a Grizzlies team record. I can't confirm it is a Grizzlies team record of teddy bears. How many of them are there? I'm not sure yet because there's so many of them. They just haven't gotten around to counting them yet. But I do know the Grizzlies office is stacked full of teddy bears that are going to be donated to local charities. Hopefully by the time I get back to the Salt Lake Valley on Saturday, we'll know the number of the teddy bears that were thrown on the ice on Saturday. It was certainly a great showing of teddy bears, the most in Grizzlies history. When we come back, we'll have second period action. Remember, the Grizzlies' second periods are their best as they've got a +10 goal differential. They trail the Idaho Steelheads 2-1, and we'll have second period action when we come back in 2 minutes on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. This starts a stretch of 5 straight games and 8 of 11 games against the Idaho Steelheads. Don't forget, Game 2 of the 2-game series in Boise is going to be on Friday night. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. The final 3 games of the 2022 calendar year are going to be at Maverick Center. It's a Bud Light College night on Wednesday, December 28th. That's going to be the first of 3 straight at Maverick Center against the Steelheads. It's going to be an AFCU Friday on December 30th. And remember, with every AFCU Friday, which is every Friday home game, tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And don't forget, Saturday, December 31st, the final home game of the 2022 calendar year. Note the special start time. It's going to be a 5 o'clock face-off at Maverick Center against the Steelheads. That's 5 o'clock, the Grizzlies and the Steelheads in the final game of 2022. And then after that, the Grizzlies and Steelheads will have a little bit of a break of each other, all of 3 games, as the Red Hot Rapid City Rush will host the Grizzlies in the first 3 games of the 2023 calendar year. 3-game and 3-day set at the Monument, January 5th and 6th at 7 o'clock. And in fact, January 7th is also going to be at 7 o'clock. So Grizzlies taking on Rapid City for 3 straight to start the 2023 calendar year. And then guess what? The Grizzlies face Idaho another 3 times here at Idaho Central Arena, January 13th and 14th. And then the scene, easy for me to say, the scene shifts to Maverick Center for Martin Luther King Day for a 3:10 start on January 16th. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have second period action as Idaho leads Utah 2-1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. This has been the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report right here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. We're about set to start second period action as Idaho leads Utah 2-1. Both teams with 11 shots. I do not see Taryn Pfizer on the Grizzlies bench as he suffered an injury in the final minute of the first period. As the Grizzlies trainer Colin Lee talking with Grizzlies assistant coach Jared Pike. Starting out the second period, it's going to be Vladislav Mikalchuk, Tyler Penner, and Jordan Martell. That would be Taryn Pfizer's shift. So it looks like Mikalchuk is replacing Pfizer on that forward line. The defensive pairing is James Shearer and Connor McDonald. Remember, the Grizzlies have been an outstanding second period club. They are going to skate from right to left as we see it from high atop section 203 at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies win the draw as McDonald gets the shear. Utah wearing a third jersey for the first time, a black jersey with green numbers, white lettering in the background, and white trim. As Idaho behind the net, Cody Haskinen will feed it to the far side. As Jordan Kawaguchi, who got a first period assist over to A.J. White, trying to get it back to Kawaguchi. He gets off a Grizzly stick. He skates towards the left circle, takes a shot, kick save by Parikh. Rebound, White with a shot. It's blocked by Shearer. As White gets pushed over to the left corner by McDonald. Shearer trying to get it back to McDonald. He couldn't reach it. As White throws it to Kawaguchi in the left corner on the far side. Penner drags him down, taken back by Utah. As Shearer will feed it to McDonald. And he'll dish it to Michalchuk. He'll skate into the right point. Michalchuk makes a nice move on Register. He'll feed it to Martell. And the Rooster will take a righty shot that gets blocked by Haskinen. Now Michalchuk over to Martell. He'll kick it up top for Nilsson. Andrew feeds it across, but it's taken away by Idaho. Pass ahead. White will bounce it off of Nilsson near the Grizzlies' blue line. Andrew nudges ahead. No icing on the play. Grizzlies skate towards the far goal line. Cameron Rudd take a backhand shot. Saved by Shield. As Wright was over to the right side looking for Raby. He was hoping that Raby would cut towards the net, but then when Raby didn't, Wright called his own number, fired a backhand shot, and Schill was able to make the save. 18:54 left in the second period. Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw. Both teams have taken one shot here so far in the second period. Jamison will take the draw right to his left and Raby to his right. Up top is going to be Kyle Pouncey and Andrew Nilsson. Taking the draw for Idaho is Ryan Domowski, who's a plus 16 this season. Draw won by Utah as Pouncey feeds to the left point for Nilsson. He'll take a shot that's blocked by Keller. Puck rolls behind the Idaho net. Keaton Jamison feeds it out in front, right with a shot, and it gets blocked away. Wright got dragged down, and he's yelling at the referee as he thought that the Grizzlies should be on the power play. Nilsson will feed it back into his own zone for Pouncey, who chases after it. Pouncey will stop behind Parikh as the Grizzlies skate from right to left. Pouncey over to Nilsson in the near side. Andrew bouncing off the near glass. Goes past Cameron Wright. Now Dawson Barta with an NHL entry-level deal. Feeds to Cutler. Now across the center ice for Keller, who dumps it in. Keaton Jamison hits Keller after he dumped it in. Grizzlies gather it. As now to center ice. Skating with the long strides is Pouncey. He'll get it to Jamison. Left point shot. Kick saved by Schill. Puck rolls along the near wing boards as Domowski gets back checked by Raby. Now ahead to Keller. Over to Domowski, who skates down the middle. He gets double teamed. He'll feed it to the left circle. Shot. Saved by Parikh. That was taken by Stranges. Antonio's his first name. First time he's played against the Grizzlies. Stranges. Right point. We'll dish it to Keller. Keller in the right side. We'll get it to the left for Johnson. He'll take a shot. Blocker saved by Parikh. Grizzlies will lift it over the head of Casey Johnson. It goes deep into the Steelhead zone, and icing is going to be called on the Grizzlies with 17:39 left in the second. We've been talking a lot about Antonio Stranges making his debut against the Grizzlies. It's the fourth game that he's played for Idaho. Stranges, a former fourth-round pick in 2020 by the Dallas Stars, and he signed a 3-year NHL entry-level deal with Dallas on March 1st of 2022. Draw won by the Steelheads are in the offensive zone. Canadi, high slot, shot and a score. That one might have been a clean one as Nick Canadi was in the high slot, just fired a lefty shot, and that one had some English. I don't know if it got redirected as Canadi's going to skate to the bench first and high five everybody on the Steelheads bench. Nick Canadi gets his second of the season, and the Steelheads have taken a 3-1 lead. Boy, Parikh was kind of stunned. He kind of reacted as if it got redirected, but it didn't look like it got redirected. As Nick Canadi just kind of cleanly was able to get some sort of knuckle puck past Lucas Parikh. Draw at center ice is won by the Steelheads. They lead 3-1 as Matt Register will wrap it around the boards. Cut off along the near wall by Victor Bartley, who will pitchfork it out towards the right point. Dylan Fitz takes it away from Haskinen. Fitz skates down the middle, now veers off to the right side. Fitz will spin it around the boards over to the left corner as Haskinen drags down a Grizzlies player. Jade Miller will lift it high into the air. Bounces near the Steelheads bench as Zach Walker trying to feed it to Zane Franklin. Both guys have long hair and beards. Now the Grizzlies take it away. Skating down the middle, Fitz will take a shot and it glances off at Haskinen. Stays in play as it rolls off the glass. And now the Grizzlies will feed it back behind Idaho's net. Matt Register chases after it. Register, a possible future Hall of Famer in this league. He'll nudge it ahead off of Fitz, and it goes towards Grizzlies territory. Jade Miller skates in. He'll skate over to the right circle. Shot saved by Parikh. Rebound shot saved by Parikh again. Utah lifts it out towards center ice. Michalchuk places a nice move on Casey Johnson, gains the offensive line and dumps it in. Shield behind his net will drive it around the near wing boards. Franklin throws it out to center ice where it's taken by Nilsson for Utah. Nilsson across to Pouncey. He'll throw it towards the Idaho blue line. Michalchuk one time taps it in. Shield rolls it back to the far corner. Walker collides with Jamison. Now Penner over there delivers a hit. Puck rolls towards Johnny Martell, or make that Jordan Martell. Over to the near side. He gets taken away by Willie Nierum. Nierum over in his own corner. Feeds it ahead towards Becker. Becker gets hit. Martell gets it. A big-time hit by Zach Walker on Jordan Martell. Now it's Jack Becker. 3-on-3. He'll skate in. He'll feed it to the left side. Nierum with a shot that's blocked. It was blocked by Kyle Pouncey. Over in the far corner. Nilsson nudges ahead to Michalchuk. He'll feed it out towards center ice. Nierum delivers a big hit on Michalchuk. At center ice, Idaho with a shot. Parikh gloves it, and he'll drop it, and Andrew Nilsson will take over. 15:39 and counting left in the second. Idaho leads 3-1. As Nilsson fakes it towards his left, he's still behind Utah's net. Now Nilsson with an outlet pass bounces over the stick of Raby, taken back by Patrick Kudla. He gets it poked away by Wright, but Kudla keeps the puck. He'll feed it across to Nierum. He gets blasted along the boards. Now towards center ice, Raby has a glance off his ankle. Now Cameron Wright gains the offensive line, skates towards his left. He'll drop it off for Tho in the high slot. He'll feed it to the left side for Thomas. He'll take a lefty shot, kick saved by Shield. Thomas around the net. He skates towards the right side. Now drop it off for Tho on the right point. Tho being challenged by Willie Nierum. Tho will skate towards the far corner. Arm is raised by the referee, and it's going to be on Idaho. As Tho towards the near side, battling with Becker. Tho throws Becker along the boards. Idaho touches up the puck as the whistle blows with 14:54 left in the second. And the Grizzlies are going to go on the power play for the second time tonight. Patrick Kudla argues his case with Jake Jackson. Kudla can't believe it. But it's not Kudla that goes to the box. Kudla's arguing the call, but it's Willie Nierum that's going to serve 2 minutes. I think the official signal was holding that I saw. Draw's going to be in the Idaho zone. Can the Grizzlies get a power play goal and find a way to cut into the Idaho lead? As the Steelheads lead 3-1, Idaho has outshot Utah 6-3 so far in this second period. Keaton Jamison will take the draw. He's got Dakota Raby to his right and Cameron Wright to his left. Up top is Martell and Nilsson. Obviously not having Taron Pfizer hurts right here. Off the draw, Martell with a shot that gets blocked. And the Grizzlies still in the offensive zone. It goes past Martell and out to neutral ice. Andrew Nilsson will chase after it. Obviously, Taron Pfizer could have been a strong finisher, but he got hurt late in the first period. We haven't seen him since. Nilsson still in his own zone, skates towards the Steelheads bench. Now it feeds it across to Wright. Cameron Wright, the national champ last year with Denver, over to Raby. He'll feed it to his left for Martell. Martell in the offensive zone gets it back to Raby. Now behind the net for Wright. Over to Martell, left circle. He'll get it up top for Nilsson. Andrew will dish it to the right side for Jamison. Now back up top for Nilsson. He'll throw it to Martell. One-timer, saved by Schill. Rebound, Jamison hacking away, but Adam Schill is held on. Great rebound control by Adam Schill as the shot was taken by Jordan Martell on the left side. Well, Martell seems like he's going to be a strong finisher. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up scoring quite a few goals for the Grizzlies. Andrew Nilsson talking it over with Martell. Nilsson knows what he's talking about. After all, he leads the league in power play points. Jamison will take the draw. Cameron Wright to his right. Dakota Raby and Nilsson up top. Martell to the left. Draw won by Jack Becker of Idaho. Now they feed it over to Jade Miller, who spins along the boards. It's cut off by Raby in the right point. Grizzlies still in the offensive zone as Raby over to Wright behind the net. Now he feeds it to Martell on the left side as Martell will skate towards the near corner. Martell stops in the corner, throws it up top to Nilsson. Andrew skates towards the middle, now throws to the right for Raby. He'll take a shot on it, gets blocked by Dawson Bardo. Puck rolls back along the near wing boards for Nilsson. Andrew over to Raby on the right side. Raby trying to feed it across to Martell. It's picked up by Jade Miller, who clears it out. Both teams make a line change as Andrew Nilsson, the only Grizzly that's still out there, he'll get the puck. He's out there with Victor Bartley, Michalchuk Strong, and Dylan Fitz. As Nilsson will drop it off for a Grizzly, Michalchuk skates over the offensive line and dumps it in. As he'll chase after it. He collides with Register behind the Idaho goal line. Now Utah, 2-on-3 battle behind the boards. Now Utah gets it back towards Nilsson. Across to Bartley. Victor throws it up top for Nilsson. Andrew takes a lefty shot and hits the pipe. And it doesn't connect as it comes back out. Idaho will clear it out. Boy, the iron unkind for the Grizzlies for the second time tonight. In the first period, Pfizer hit a post as Nilsson crosses center ice and dumps it in. Hits off a Cam Strong stick. Goes back up to Dawson Bardo. Out of the penalty box is Willie Nerum as the Steelheads are back at full strength. Utah is 0 for 2 on the power play. Idaho's yet to have one. Steelheads lead 3-1 as Utah throws a blue line to blue line pass towards Colatarchi. It lifts over the stick of Colton Keller and flies deep into the Steelhead zone as Idaho will get it ahead. Ryan Domowski will feed it ahead. Idaho 2-on-2 as Strongest with a shot. Saved by Preek as Strongest took the shot from the left circle. Grizzlies clear it back out to Nick Canati, who's scored a second period goal as Idaho leads 3-1. Idaho spreads the ice as Casey Johnson has it. He's down the middle. He'll feed it to the right side for Keller. He crosses center ice, does Keller, and dumps it in as it bounces off the boards. As Strongest over towards Domowski, who gets hit by Colatarchi. Now the Grizzlies take it. Keller delivers a big hit as Tyler Penner, right wing, crosses center ice and dumps it into the left corner. Chasing after it's Martell. He gets taken away by Canati. He'll feed it across to Canati over to Colton Keller. 1-on-3. Keller gains the offensive line. Stops just outside the left circle. Over to Domowski. He'll wrap it around the boards as Patrick Cudla on the right side skates towards the corner, being shadowed by Raby. Cudla feeds the right circle, taken away by Raby. Dakota feeds it across, looking for Wright. He gets it poked away by Strongest. Now Wright gets it back. He gains the offensive line. Grizzlies have numbers. Right to the right side, centers to Sheryl. Take a shot. On, hits off the shield, hits a little bit of the side of the net as the rebound comes out to the Steelheads. Zane Franklin lifts it high into the air, bouncing at center ice. Idaho gets it. Strongest gains the offensive line, gets around Victor Bartley. Bartley pokes it away, though. Strongest seems like a very skilled forward. Pass up ahead, breakaway from McCallchuck. He'll skate down the middle. Backhand to forehand. He'll take a shot. Kick save by Schill. Puck goes back at center ice. What a stop by Adam Schill. Puck still in play. Murphy tries to get it to Franklin. Utah pokes it away. Grizzlies 3-on-3 enter the zone. McCallchuck will skate towards the right circle. Takes a shot. Save by Schill. Well, it looked like McCallchuck was cherry picking a little bit. Got an outlet pass. He had a breakaway. Can make whatever move he wanted. He went backhand to forehand, and then Schill just made a great stop. A nice ankle save. Looked like there might have been a little bit of room for McCallchuck, but Schill made an amazing stop. 10:59 left in the second period. Idaho leads 3-1. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Idaho leads 3-1. 10:59 left in the second period. Adam Schill, high rate robbery on Vladislav McCallchuck on the breakaway. And McCallchuck, remember, he scored a goal on a really nice move where he kind of made a nice backhand attempt. And I think that McCallchuck, knowing that Schill probably saw that move, went backhand and then back to his forehand. He really faked out Schill, but somehow Adam Schill was just able to kick his leg open and just make a nice ankle high save. Draw's going to be in the right circle. Idaho leads 3-1. Their fans making a lot of noise. Very, very few empty seats here on a Wednesday night. Utah wins the draw, going with 9 forwards as Pfizer got hurt late in the first period. He hasn't returned. As the puck along the near wall of the Steelhead zone, Dylan Fitz lifts it out of play as he tried to bounce off the glass and the puck lifted on him. Draw's going to stay in the Steelhead zone. 10:49 left in the second. Idaho led 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. 2:26 into the second. Nick Canati scored his second of the season. A shot from the high slot. Casey Johnson and Zane Franklin picked up the assists. Both teams at 18 shots. Both teams had 11 shots in the first, and both have 7 in the second. Grizzlies win the offensive zone draws. Nilsson over to Fitz. He gets it poked away by Register. Now it exits the zone. 3-on-2. Register to the right side over to Franklin. Now to the left circle. Shot and a score. And the Steelheads connect on a one-timer as they had a 3-on-2 as they've extended the lead. It's a 4-1 game. And scoring that goal is Wade Murphy on a one-timer from the left circle. It is Murphy's 5th goal of the season. Idaho's on a current 6-game winning streak, and this juggernaut continues to play great hockey. None of these goals are really Lucas Preek's fault. And if you're thinking about possibly pulling him, the backup tonight is Chris Coma, who's an emergency backup. Trent Miner earlier this week was called up to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. As Idaho leads 4-1, 4 goals on 19 shots. Near him takes it away from Martell. He skates towards the right circle and he swung and missed as Bartley was nearby. Now Miller behind the net, feeds it out towards Heiskanen in the high slot. Now bounces off of the stick of Jack Becker. Grizzlies will get it out to center ice. Michalchuk crosses center, dumps it in as Michalchuk skates around register. Heiskanen collides with Michalchuk along the wall as it goes back to Idaho, skating from left to right. Steelheads feed it towards Heiskanen, who couldn't reach it. Puck glides towards the Steelheads bench as Martell will feed it back to Bartley, who's deep in the Grizzlies zone. Halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes, Idaho leads 4-1. The Steelheads have a record of 23-0-1 with a winning percentage of better than .850. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone. Michalchuk to the right side makes a nice move on register. I'll take a shot on a glance off of Wade Murphy, sticking on to Shield. Shield's able to cover up, and after the whistle, Wade Murphy and Vladislav Michalchuk, they mix things up. Michalchuk with a push of Murphy, and Matt Register over there as well. 9:44 left in the second. Idaho leads 4-1. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
9:44 left in the second period. Idaho leads 4-1. They scored 2 goals in the first and 2 in the second. Wade Murphy's goal was scored 9:23 into the second. Zane Franklin and Matt Register with the assists. So Zane Franklin has 2 assists and a +2 rating. Grizzlies' lone goal scored by Dakota Raby, 13:44, on an amazing pass from Jordan Martell. Puck in the Steelhead zone. Idaho gets it as Kanati gets over to Casey Johnson. He'll spin it along the far wing boards, taken by Wade Murphy as Idaho skates from left to right as we see it from high atop section 203. Kawaguchi gained the offensive line, but gets taken away. Utah gets dragged down. Cameron Wright gets back to his feet. He'll get it to Raby. Raby skates towards the right circle. Backhand shot. He fanned on it, but Raby keeps the puck. As he's along the near side, he gets hit by Kanati. Wade Murphy and Corey Thomas collide, and the puck ends up with Utah at the Grizzlies' blue line. As Utah towards neutral ice will lift it high into the air, bouncing towards Kanati, who gathers it as he's being battled with Raby. Now left circle, Jamison with a shot that gets blocked as Nick Kanati gets the puck. He skates along the right wing. He skates over the offensive line. 3-on-2, Kanati over to the left side. Shot! Glove save by Preek. Oh, what a stop. As Jordan Kawaguchi had a wide open look from the left circle. Now a lot of pushing and shoving. Colton Keller pushes the Grizzly, and that gets the Idaho fans fired up here. This play's starting to get physical. A few Grizzlies over there. Looks like Kawaguchi pushes Cameron Wright. Wright now pushes Kawaguchi. Keller gets separated by one of the linesmen. Now Kawaguchi and Wright exchange some words in the far corner as Wright seems like he's had enough of Kawaguchi. We'll see if any penalties come of it. 8:55 left in the second, but Lucas Preek made the best save of the game, at least from the Grizzlies' perspective. Adam Shield with an amazing save on Michalchuk earlier in the second period. Looks like a Grizzlies going to the penalty box, and it's going to be Aaron Tho. As now everybody's cease and desisted and gone their separate ways. Those in the box. We'll see if anybody goes for Idaho. Steelheads lead 4-1. It was a quick glove save by Lucas Preek. Tho has some words for the referee, Jake Jackson. I'd be surprised if Tho was the only one going to the penalty box after all that. Raby talks with Ryan Kanasowicz, and Raby's going to probably tell Kanasowicz what's going to happen. Connor McDonald and Matt Register are towards the scores table. Both guys talking things over. It was a nice glove save by Lucas Preek, and really it was another odd man rush for Idaho as they had a 3-on-2. So Tho's in the box, but nobody is in the box for Idaho, even though their door is open to their penalty box. Both teams with 20 shots, but 4 of them have found the back of the net on Lucas Preek, and Adam Schill so far has stopped 19 of 20 for Idaho. Aaron Tho is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell scheduling a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team, Rogers and Russell. Well, Tho's in the box for 2 minutes, and that's the only penalty, so Idaho's going to be on the power play for the first time tonight. Idaho's power play this season is 27.1%. It's not a single category that the Steelheads have that isn't, just amazing. And power play and penalty kill has been to their favor as well. Draws in the left circle, and it's won by Domowski and Idaho. Now Bardo on the right side gets to Kudla. Kudla feeds to the left side for Strongis. He'll take a shot, saved by Preek. Now towards Kudla. Left side, they'll spin it around. Preek cuts it off behind his net. Grizzlies will bounce it off the near boards. Preek goes down. No penalty, though, as Preek can't believe it. Grizzlies gain the offense line. Penner, right side shot goes wide, as it was a 2-on-3 for Utah. As Shearer delivers a hit on Domowski. Pouncey dumps it in. Domowski yells at Shearer for some reason, as Domowski thinks he can't get hit on a hockey rink. As Kudla crosses center ice over to Keller. There's no out of bounds. Can't run, can't hide. As Strongis over to Domowski, gains the offensive line, skates towards the left circle. Domowski towards the middle, tries to feed it back up top for Bardo. It's picked up by Wright. Wright pushes, gets pushed in the back by Domowski, and on to Adam Schill. Now Schill had it hit off his glove, or hit off his stick, and is right behind the net. As he'll skate towards the left circle, right with a shot, kick saved by Schill. Rebound shot, saved by Schill. And he holds on his keister as Wright took the initial shot, and the puck bounced towards the right side. And then Shearer had a nice look from the right, and Schill made the save. And as he made the save, he fell on his backside to hold on to the puck. 7:54 is left in the second. It's still 4-1 Steelheads. Grizzlies very aggressive. Despite being shorthanded, the Grizzlies very aggressive, obviously down by 3. Draw's going to be in the Idaho zone. Dylan Fitz and Dakota Raby are out there along with James Shearer and Victor Bartley. As they're at those in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell, 2 minutes for roughing. As Register will drop it back off for Kawaguchi, who skates down the middle. Kawaguchi gains center ice. Now he gains the blue line and loses the puck as he was skating towards the corner. Raby tries to clear it. It bounced off the stick and it stays in with Haskinen on the right side. Over to Register. I'll take a lefty shot, and that goes wide. Preek might have gotten a piece of it. As Haskinen around the boards, White behind the net. He'll feed it to the far side for Murphy. Now up top for Register. Across to Haskinen. Now to Register in the high slot. He'll take a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Looked like it bounced off a stick. Puck flies high into the air, stays in play, bounces in the right circle. As Kawaguchi gets pushed by Bartley. 15 seconds left in Idaho's power play as Wade Murphy gets hit along the boards by Shearer. As Murphy feeds up top to Register, I tried to throw it out in front to Kawaguchi, and Utah picked it off. Dylan Fitz crosses center ice. He'll fire a shot that goes over the head of Adam Schill off the glass and stays in play. Grizzlies make a line change. As Aaron Tho out of the penalty box, pass ahead towards the Utah blue line, taken by Kawaguchi, but he'll back it out to neutralize himself, and he'll actually throw it into the Steelhead zone as Schill will get it to Register. He'll bounce it off the end boards of the Idaho zone. Haskinen gets blasted, but taking the puck is Willie Nierum, who skates around the net. Colatarchi delivering another hit. Good shift by Cola as Idaho will throw it out to center ice. Utah, Kyle Pouncey collides with Jade Miller. As Pouncey goes flying, puck bounced off the referee. Grizzlies gain the offensive line. Wright will skate towards the right circle. Haskinen takes it away from him. Ahead towards Nierum as 3-on-3. Idaho gains the offensive line, centers it towards Becker. He swings and misses as it goes back to Idaho in the right corner. Becker skates towards the middle, puck along the right wing boards. Idaho wanted a holding call. Johnson, the left side, getting shadowed by Colatarchi. Johnson around the boards towards Becker. He'll feed it to the near corner. Grizzlies gather it. Nilsson will throw a rink-wide pass towards Colatarchi. Bounces off the far wall and all the way back towards the Idaho goal line and past it as icing is called on the Grizzlies with 5:53 left in the second period. Long shift for Utah. Cameron Wright skates towards the bench, but since it was an icing call, he can't leave the ice, but he's looking for a new stick as he gets it from Mason Whalen, the Grizzlies equipment manager. That's a way to just kill a little bit of time. If you get an icing call against you, hey, I need a new stick. Kill a little bit of time, give your guys a few second rest. Grizzlies win the draw. Kind of a veteran move by the first-year pro, Cameron Wright. Grizzlies win the face-off, and they clear it all the way out into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies are able to sneak in a line change as the Steelheads have the puck deep in their own zone, skating from left to right as we see it from high atop section 203 at Idaho Central Arena. Zane Franklin with 2 assists tonight will dump it in from just outside the Utah blue line. Now the Grizzlies get it to McCallchuck. Idaho pokes it back to center ice as Johnson will peel back into his own zone. Now he'll nudge it ahead. It's taken away by McCallchuck, who gains the line. Johnson pokes it away from him. It goes to Aaron Tho in the Grizzlies zone. He'll feed it towards the near boards for Jordan Martell. Martell trying to gain the offensive line, got hit by Canati. Penner over towards Bartley. It bounces off of him. 2-on-1. Franklin skates towards the right circle. Franklin over to the middle. He takes a shot and he scores. Zane Franklin, 2-on-1, skated towards the right circle and he veered off towards his left. A Grizzly dove down the middle to try to cut off a centering pass, and then Franklin, as he was getting hit in the back, fired it into the back of the net, and just like that, it's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 1. Well, it's been a rough night for the Grizzlies here so far. As Franklin made a nice play, he's now got 1 goal and 2 assists. And remember, it was Franklin that threw Taryn Pfizer into the corner of the Steelhead zone, and Pfizer got injured in the last minute of the first period. We haven't seen him since, and I'm a little bit concerned that he's not going to be in the Grizzlies lineup for a while. Idaho wins the faceoff and ices the puck as the whistle blows with 4:59 left in the second. So the Grizzlies are down to 9 forwards and 7 defensemen. Remember, Johnny Walker is out of the Grizzlies lineup tonight. It's the first game he's missed all year. And Taryn Pfizer, we don't know the extent of the injury, but he's probably going to be out for the rest of this game. Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 1. Idaho had 2 goals in the first period and 3 here in the second. As Dakota Raby, 13 and a half minutes in the first, has Utah's lone goal. Idaho wins the draws. Bardo gets over to Keller. He'll pitch forking out to center ice, taken back by Fitz. And Fitz will lift it high into the air as it bounces into the right corner. Bouncing off the boards kind of awkwardly. Now Utah takes it away. Fitz tries to center it to Strong, but the pass was behind him. Now to Colton Keller. He'll throw a rink-wide pass to Strongis. As Strongis gains line, he'll feed it to the right corner. Keller chases after it. Keller with a sharp angled shot saved by Parikh. Taken back by Utah as Cam Strong crosses center ice. He'll throw it to his right for Fitz. Fitz gains the line. He'll throw a shot that bounces off of Kudla. Now it's taken by Keller. He'll skate into the offensive zone. Keller stops just outside the left circle. Centers into Strongis. He'll take a shot. Saved by Parikh. Rebound goes out towards the end boards. Corey Thomas delivers a hit. Taken by Kolatarchi. Will lift it high into the air as it bounces in the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies make a line change as Bardo chases after it and gets it. Bardo will feed it to his left, and Strongis gains the offensive line somehow onside as it goes towards Jade Miller. Makes a move on Raby, takes a lefty shot. Saved by Parikh. After the whistle, Corey Thomas trying to protect Parikh. Kind of hog-ties Wade Murphy a little bit. 3:54 left in the second. Idaho leads 5-1. The Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 24-22. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
It's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 1. 3:54 left in the second period. Idaho scored twice in the first frame as Jack Becker and Colton Keller found the back of the net. In the second period, Nick Canati scored 2:26 in to make it a 3-1 game. Wade Murphy extended the lead on a one-timer from the left circle, 9:23 in, and then Zane Franklin pretty much went coast to coast on a 2-on-1, veered off to the left, and as he was getting pushed into the back, fired a shot that went past Lucas Parikh. Parikh is the starting goaltender tonight. Chris Coma is the backup. He's an emergency backup. He played his college hockey at the University of Utah. He's a Boise native. Earlier this week, Trent Miner was reassigned to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Remember, Miner is in the second year of a 3-year NHL entry-level deal. Idaho leading 5-1, wins the faceoff. They're in the offensive zone. It's Haskinen over in the corner. He's got a plus 15 rating this season, which isn't even the best on the club, not even close to it. Idaho will try to feed the middle. It bounced off a skate. Dakota Raby gets pushed as he delivers a pass. Grizzlies cross center ice. Cameron Wright gets knocked down. Tried to dump it in. Didn't get very far. Register throws it ahead to Murphy. Murphy, 2-on-3, gains the line. Look for a pass. It bounced off a Shearer's stick and goes out to center ice. Murphy gets it back. He's got a goal tonight, which came in the second period about halfway through the contest. Haskinen will feed it ahead towards Miller. Miller gets around Martell, but taken by Shearer. He tried to feed it towards Penner. It bounced off him and rolls towards Schill, who covers up as Penner was chasing after him. As the whistle blows with 3:12 left in the second period, Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Grizzlies uniforms do look good tonight. First time they've worn their alternate third uniform. I think they'll wear those as well on Friday. And hey, we'll see if next week or sometime in January, we'll see if the Grizzlies end up debuting those jerseys at home for the first time. As Idaho leads 5-1, but the Grizzlies do look good in their uniforms. As puck along the far boards, Michalchuk gets it taken away by Johnson. Johnson gets hit by Michalchuk. Puck stays in the corner. Grizzlies feed it to the near side for Nilsson. As the Grizzlies in the offensive zone, as Penner gets spun around by Canati. Penner lost the puck. Canati gets it. He'll feed it towards the left point. Nilsson cuts it off. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Shield. Well, you talk about the Idaho goaltenders, whether it's Jake Kupski, who's currently in the AHL, Remy Poirier, the backup tonight, and Adam Shield, the starters. The Idaho team save percentage this season is .930. That's unbelievable. That's all three goaltenders for Idaho and the whole season, just combining for a .930 save percentage. Linesman drops the puck, but he says, my bad, we'll do it over again. Cam Strong will take the face-off against Jack Becker. Second intermission, we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports. And we'll also get to those player trends that I didn't get to in the first intermission. As the draw won by Utah, Cole Tarchio bouncing off the end wall. Casey Johnson gets it back for Idaho. Steelheads skate from left to right. Pass up ahead looking for Franklin's poked away. And now it's towards the Utah blue line. Idaho gains the line, but the whistle blows as they're offside with 2:36 left in the second. Same teams on Friday night, 2 days from now for Festivus. Having Festivus here and in Boise, December 23rd. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off, and then a three-game series at Maverick Center after the Christmas break, December 28th, 30th, and 31st against this same Idaho Steelheads team. As the Grizzlies in their own zone, as Idaho won the face-off and dumped it in. Now it's taken by Cam Strong. He'll get to the Idaho blue line, dump it in. He gets around Casey Johnson. Strong gets pushed along the near corner. Now Corey Thomas left point, shot gets blocked. Now Fitz skates in, right side shot, saved by Shield. Rebound goes out to Idaho. They kick it ahead. Cut off by Utah on the right point. Though with a shot, and it bounced off a Steelhead. Flies high into the air. Bounces in the right corner. Idaho around the boards as Johnson avoids a check of Kolatarchi. Johnson centers it to near him as action in the Steelhead zone. Idaho will clear it out to center ice. Idaho 3-on-3 carries it into the offensive zone. Becker gets around Raby. Now Becker around the net. He's to the right side, takes a righty shot. Saved by Parikh. Rebound goes out to the right point off the boards. As Franklin over to the corner, got a pass from Kudla. Now back to Becker. He tried to center it, bounced off of Thomas. Thomas will ricochet it off the far glass. He played for Idaho a handful of games last year. He's familiar with the surroundings. Utah takes it away. They're in the offensive zone. Raby, right wing shot. On it goes wide. Raby has Utah's lone goal tonight. As Shearer over towards right. He's battling along the near boards. Gets around Bardo. Now Wright will skate towards the middle. Take a shot. He scores! Cameron Wright was in the left corner, just kind of skated towards the middle, fired a shot, and looked like it might have bounced off of Dakota Raby and ends up in the back of the net. If it's Raby, it's the second of the game and sixth of the season. And just like that, it's a 5-2 game. As Utah, like I said, has cut into the lead after Idaho scored 4 unanswered. Wright skated towards the left, nudged it across to Raby, and that's how Utah scored. Wright to Raby to the back of the net. And Cameron Wright has picked up his 14th assist of the season. Draw's going to be at center ice as Idaho's still up by 3, but the Grizzlies tack one on here in the second as Idaho. Strongest over towards Demowski. It bounces off a Grizzly stick. Strongest keeps it in the offensive zone left point. Now Utah takes it away as it goes towards center ice. Michalchuk's worked hard tonight. Tried to nudge it ahead towards Martell. The whistle blows as Utah's called for offsides with an even 1 minute left in the second period. We'll go over some of the scores from around the league during the second intermission. As the draw won by Idaho as they're back in their own zone. Kudla across to Bardo, who's got an NHL entry-level deal. Bardo will lift it in the air from one blue line to the other. It's cut off by Shearer. He'll skate towards Preek, now lifting out to center ice. Now it's taken back by Victor Bartley. Bartley near the Idaho bench gets it poked away by Keller. He'll ricochet it off the linesman, and now the whistle blows with 41 seconds left in the second. Wait, think about the shot count. We were talking about how Idaho, on average, has outshot their opponents by about 8 per game, and how the Grizzlies have been outshot recently. You look at the shot count, both teams have 25. Both teams had 11 shots in the first period. Both teams so far with 14 shots in the second. It's just that Idaho has been able to get more of those grade A scoring chances, and they lead 5-2. As the Grizzlies win the draws, Nilsson in his own zone gets back over to Raby. He dishes it across now to Nilsson. From Penner, and now it goes back to Pouncey. I keep confusing Pouncey and Penner. They got signed on the same day a year and a half ago. Pass ahead towards Cameron Wright. He gets it poked away by Walker. Now it goes to center ice, taken by Pouncey as he'll backpedal into his own zone. He'll throw it to the far side. Now across to Nilsson. Now back to Pouncey. Now feed it to his right. Grizzlies try to enter the zone. It goes past Wright, and the Grizzlies do enter. Now Wright in the high slot takes a shot that goes wide. Wright chases after it. He's in the left corner. He'll throw it up top for Jamison. Late second period, Jamison with a shot saved by Shield. Right with the second look, and he collides with Heiskanen as the puck rolled towards Shield. And now Heiskanen has Wright in a headlock after the whistle. Wright's helmet flew off as Heiskanen tried to get in a left jab on him. Less than 1 second is left in the second period. Wright pleading his case with the linesman. He's hoping the Grizzlies can get a power play out of it. Heiskanen picks up his stick. Grizzlies lead the shot count now 26-25. Draw's going to be towards Adam Schill's net. And after all, there's less than 1 second left in the second period. It's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 2. Everett Sheen, the Steelheads coach, points towards Sheen, thinks the faceoff should come out of the Steelhead zone and come out to neutral ice. You talk about coaches that have done an outstanding job. Everett Sheen missed the playoffs last season. It was the first time Idaho had ever missed the playoffs in team history. But Everett Sheen rebuilt his roster, and he's done an outstanding job. As the draw in the left circle, the Steelhead zone, won by Utah. Nilsson with a shot, and it goes wide. Boy, that one might have counted had Andrew Nilsson had the accuracy on it. And he kind of was upset at himself because he knew he had a chance there because the faceoff came to him so quickly. Nevertheless, the score is Idaho 5, Utah 2. We'll recap the first 40 minutes of play when we come back. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by America First Credit Union.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission here at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead 5-2. As you're talking about a team that's just been on an amazing roll. Idaho this season came into play, or this game, came in with a plus 55 goal differential, and now it's plus 58 after leading 5-2 after 2 periods. And I don't think the Grizzlies are playing a poor game at all. It's just, you think about Johnny Walker being out. You think about all the different forwards that the Grizzlies have lost to the AHL, and a good defenseman in Nate Klerman. And, I think about Trent Miner earlier this week going to the AHL. There's now 7 players that the Grizzlies have had for multiple games this season that are currently in the AHL. We'll talk about that later on in the second intermission. But I think it's interesting to see, how this first 2 periods have played out. Because, like I said, I don't think the Grizzlies have played poorly. It's just the Steelheads are just such a juggernaut right now. And I knew they were going to have a good bounce-back season after missing the playoffs last year, but it's like at a completely different level as everybody's contributing to the Idaho cause. And really, you think about some of Idaho's big guns. It's not like you've seen a whole lot from Domowski. He's only got 1 assist tonight. I haven't seen much from Matt Register. He just has 1 assist, but that's what makes Idaho so tough. 17 players, 17 skaters. Seems like all 17 contribute. And that's what makes them such a difficult team. And when the Steelheads have been dominant in years past, it's been because their third line's better than your third line. It's because, on any given shift, anybody can have a big game. When you think about Zane Franklin, probably the number 1 star so far tonight. You don't think about Zane Franklin as necessarily being a big-time scorer, but he does have 15 points in 23 games coming into play this season. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how this third period plays out, but Idaho's just been outstanding through 2 periods, and really they've been outstanding all season long. Jack Becker scored first for Idaho, 3:53 in. Jordan Kawaguchi with the assists. Grizzlies tied up the game, and I think the best play on either team so far tonight was Jordan Martell. And you think about the toughness of this play. He was on the left side of the Grizzlies of the offensive zone, skated behind the net, stopped and reversed the pass out to the left to Dakota Raby, and then Raby was able to put it away for his 5th of the season. And first of 2 tonight, Dakota Raby has been outstanding for the Grizzlies. He now has 4 multiple-point games this season. So Martell with his 2nd assist in the Grizzlies uniform. This is just his 3rd game, and Raby his 5th goal of the season and first of 2 tonight. That tied it up 13:44 into the first. Colton Keller made it a 2-1 game. He scored his 11th of the year. 18-14 in, as Domowski was over on the right side, fired a nice centering pass to Keller, who put it in the back of the net. Idaho led 2-1 after 1 period of play. Both teams had 11 shots. Nick Gennady was just in the high slot, and it wasn't like the shot had a ton of velocity on it, and it was one of those where it looked like, based on the puck knuckling back and forth, that it got redirected, but it didn't get redirected. It was just one of those that was impossible for Lucas Preek to handle. And before Lucas knew what happened, the puck was in the back of the net. Lucas kind of had that look of, like, I can't believe that one trickled through. Casey Johnson, Zane Franklin picked up the assists. Then the Steelheads' next 2 goals were on odd man rushes, a 3-on-2. Steelheads worked the puck around. Franklin was on the right side, got to Register to Murphy, who was on the left. And Wade Murphy with a one-timer from the left circle got past Lucas Preek, 9:23 into the second. That made it a 4-1 game. And then Zane Franklin scored unassisted, 14:54 in, as it was kind of a 2-on-1 situation. Franklin skated into the right side, then kind of veered off towards the middle from the right, and then he got pushed in the back just about the same time he released the shot, and then he released the shot past Preek. That made it a 5-1 game. Grizzlies scored late in the second period as Cameron Wright was in the left corner, skated towards the middle, and then just kind of dished it out to his right for Raby. And Dakota put it away for his 2nd of the game and 6th of the season. That's Dakota Raby's 2nd or fourth multiple-point game this season, his first two-goal game of the season. Remember, he had a hat trick on April 15th, 2022 that clinched the division title for the Grizzlies. James Shearer also picked up an assist. He now has 3 this season. Remember, Shearer had 2 assists last Sunday in the Grizzlies' 3-0 victory over the Kansas City Mavericks. Late first period, Taron Pfizer got injured as he got pushed along the glass by Zane Franklin in the corner on the near side of the Steelhead zone, and we haven't seen Pfizer. And based on how he was reacting, I'm concerned about whether he's going to be able to play for a little bit. I'm thinking, weeks or so, and obviously I'm not a doctor. Colin Lee's the guy that determines some things. The Grizzlies trainer, he went out to check on him, but hopefully Taron Pfizer will be back in the lineup soon, but it did look like he suffered an injury that probably is going to keep him out of the lineup for a little bit, just would be my guess. He didn't play in the second period, and certainly hope it's not a bad injury. Grizzlies without Johnny Walker tonight, and I really don't know how long he'll be out. He's just not good enough to go this evening, and the Grizzlies are without Bryson Martin, who suffered. He missed the Kansas City series as well. It's the third straight game that he has missed, and I'm not sure if he suffered the injury during the Jacksonville series or if it was during practice leading up to the Kansas City series, but Bryson Martin is out of the Grizzlies lineup, and I'm not sure what his prognosis is either, but he's probably going to miss a few weeks. So just one of those things. Grizzlies just have to keep battling, and like I said, Idaho is going to make some plays. That's just the way they've been all season long. You just can't get discouraged when they make those plays. And I'm not even sure the Grizzlies have gotten discouraged. It's just the way this game has gone. I think you talk about, and some nights you just have to tip your hat to the opposition. I think tonight might be just one of those nights where you just got to tip your hat to the Steelheads because they played an outstanding game here so far. Second intermission, Idaho leads 5-2. And when we come back in 2 minutes, we will go over some scores from around the world of sports as well as the ECHL, as there's a few other Mountain Division teams in action here tonight. Once again, the score after 2 periods is Idaho 5 and the Grizzlies 2. This is the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you. If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Second intermission over at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 5-2. I'm Tyson Whiting. I'm actually at Idaho Central Arena, hanging out just high, top section 203. And the Grizzlies have 2 goals from Dakota Raby, but the Steelheads have goals from 5 different players as they lead 5-2. Zane Franklin's probably been the best of all the Steelheads tonight. He has 1 goal and 2 assists. Other action in the league this evening, Wichita defeats Rapid City 6-3, as Wichita had a good game from Braden Watts, who scored 2 goals. Looks like Logan Nelson, Brett Gravel, and Alex Halliardi scored for Rapid City in the loss. Grizzlies haven't faced Wichita yet this season, and they've only played the Rapid City Rush twice. That was the first 2 games of the regular season. Remember, when the Grizzlies wrap up this 5-game set against the Idaho Steelheads, 2 here in Boise and then 3 at Maverick Center, Grizzlies will take on the Rapid City Rush for a 3-game set over at the Monument, January 5th, 6th, and 7th. Grizzlies don't face Wichita all that often this season. They are at Wichita on March 3rd and 5th, And then the Thunder are going to be at Maverick Center March 29th and 30th, as well as December 1st. So that game has gone final. Wichita defeats Rapid City 6-3. Kansas City defeats Iowa 2-1 as the Mavericks go back to the 500 mark. James McKenna, or make that Jeremy McKenna. James McKenna is a linesman who usually does Grizzlies games. Jeremy McKenna scored 2 goals, and looks like Bush scored for Iowa. It was a 2-1 Kansas City victory. Now, Kansas City looks like they were shorthanded. Pascal LeBurge had 2 assists. As for Kansas City, Bush had the only goal. And Kansas City, very low shot game. Kansas City only 23 shots to Iowa's 17. Kansas City over Iowa 2-1. The defending champion Florida Everblades defeats Orlando 5-3. Trois Riviere defeats Worcester 2-1. Reading over Maine 6-5. And in overtime, Kalamazoo defeats Cincinnati 4-3. And one other game in the league, Jacksonville defeats Savannah 5-2. I think the Grizzlies are going to face Savannah here in about a month or so in Savannah. Part of that road trip. You think about the warm weather. I imagine the weather's pretty good in Savannah. Grizzlies are going to be there for a 1-game set on February 17th. Then the Grizzlies after that will be in Orlando February 19th and 20th. Final score at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, Jacksonville 5 and Savannah 2. Who got the job done for Jacksonville? It was Luke Lynch, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. Aaron Nazarene had 1 goal and 1 assist. Travis Howell was not in the lineup for Jacksonville, but Luke Martin had 2 assists, and former Grizzly Hunter Skinner had 1 assist. And Jacksonville got a 3-goal victory, 5-2 over Savannah. Some games in the NHL here on this Wednesday night. I think it's a TNT doubleheader. And it looks like the first game of the TNT double, actually, it looks like there's just 1 game on TNT tonight, and that is Edmonton and Dallas. They are tied at 2 with 15 minutes left in the second period. First intermission, no score between the Coyotes and Wild. Also after 1, no score between the Coyotes and Vegas. No score. The Wild and Ducks are scoreless after 1 period at the Honda Center. Devils defeated the Panthers 4-2. That game's gone final. How about the start of the season to the New Jersey Devils? They are 22-9-2 on the season. High-scoring game in Detroit. The Red Wings defeat the Lightning 7-4. And in overtime, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, defeats Montreal 2-1 in a battle of teams that Patrick Waugh played for. Obviously, he was a longtime Montreal Canadian, and then got traded to the Avalanche in the middle of the 1995-96 season. Avalanche defeat the Canadiens 2-1. And late third period, Nashville leads Chicago 4-2. As it looks like the Blackhawks are going to fall to 7-20-4 this season. So they've really had a bit of a struggle as the Blackhawks in a bit of a rebuild mode. And who knows what happens to Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. Those are 2 guys that are probably towards the end of their tenures in Chicago. But what a great run it was there. But the Blackhawks are in rebuild mode. Looks like they're going to lose to Nashville by a score of 4-2. When we come back, we'll have third period action from Idaho Central Arena as the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 5-2. But you think about Dakota Raby, who's got both of Utah's goals. He now has points in 10 of his last 11 games, a stretch where he's got 5 goals and 9 assists. He's been one of the hottest, if not the hottest, of all the Grizzlies. It was good to see Cameron Wright making that play, dishing it out and across to Raby for the goal. Wright leads the Grizzlies in shots on goal coming into play tonight with 73. Wright also has 3 game-winning goals. And you think about Cameron Wright, you thought about him scoring a lot of goals in college, and I think he's going to do that as a pro. But you also think about Cameron Wright being a good distributor. He now has 14 assists on the season. Good to see Andrew Nilsson back in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. He's got a point in 6 of his last 7 games, but Nilsson missed both games in the Kansas City series. Even though the Grizzlies didn't score on either power play, it looked like Nilsson, was able to kind of stabilize things up top. And he's a threat not only to make that perfect pass to either the left circle or the right circle, but he's also a pretty good finisher as well when he gets his chances, either in the high slot or maybe him finishing over in the left or right circle. I think it's kind of interesting how the Grizzlies are using Jordan Martell, who picked up a first period assist on that great pass to Dakota Raby. But Martell's being used in the left circle quite a bit, and he's been very active. He's nicknamed the Rooster, and he looks like a fun player to watch, wearing number 27. He was a fun guy to hang out with at the Grizzlies Booster Club Christmas party this past Monday. And I think Jordan Martell's quite an addition. He was acquired for Neil Robinson, and I think Jordan Martell is going to be a keeper. You think about the best statistical season he had in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League back in the 2017-2018 campaign, where in 66 games he had 39 goals and 38 assists. And so even though he hasn't scored a goal this season, I got a feeling with the one-timer that he's got in the left circle and the velocity that he's got on it, and it seems like there's some accuracy to it as well, I got a feeling he's going to score some goals for the Grizzlies down the stretch. When we come back in 1 minute, we will have third period action as Idaho leads Utah 5-2. This has been the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Third period action will begin shortly as the Grizzlies will be skating from left to right, wearing their black alternate jerseys for the first time. The difference between these jerseys and the ones they normally wear, green numbers on the jerseys, on the side of the jersey, right there on the arm, just above the elbow, as well as the back of the jersey. Professional green numbers to go along with white trim, white lettering in the back, a little bit of green stripes near the shoulders, and a couple of green stripes on the forearms. And it's a sharp-looking jersey. I imagine you can go to the Grizzlies team store and pick up those jerseys, and it's certainly a sharp look. They're debuting them here tonight, and I think they'll wear those same jerseys on Friday evening. Zane Franklin leads Idaho with 1 goal and 2 assists, but Dakota Raby has both of Utah's goals. Can the Grizzlies make a comeback attempt here in the third? Well, Utah has outshot Idaho 26-25. Tyler Penner will take the draw. He's got Jordan Martell to his left and Vladislav Mikalchuk to his right. Taryn Fizer still not out there as he got injured late in the first period. And that was the line he was going to be on. Mikalchuk's replaced him on that line with Penner and Martell. As Idaho wins the faceoff, they dump it in as Bartley delivers a hit on Wade Murphy. The puck glides along the near wing boards, taken by Mikalchuk. He's back in the Grizzlies zone. So he'll give it to James Shearer. He's at the side of Utah's net. He'll feed it across to Bartley. Utah skates from left to right here as we see it from high top section 203 at Idaho Central Arena. Martell gains the line, throws to his right for Penner. He'll take a shot. Saved by Shield. Rebound shot. Mikalchuk takes it, and it goes over the crossbar. As Mikalchuk getting in that dirty, greasy area out in front of the net. As Cody Heiskanen in his corner on the far side will feed it across to Register. As Idaho spreads the ice, they're deep in their own zones. They'll bounce it off the boards. It goes to Heiskanen. He'll feed it ahead to Kawaguchi. 2-on-1. Kawaguchi skates towards the right circle. Centers it over to White on the left side. White bobbles the puck. He couldn't get a shot off. He'll feed it to the right circle. One-timer goes wide by Wade Murphy. Puck rolls along the near wing boards out to center ice. Register with the right wing pass to Murphy, but the whistle blows, and Idaho's offside. Cameron Wright's going after Murphy as he thought that Murphy took the shot after the whistle blew. There's more of a push than anything else. Jack Becker faked an elbow on James Shearer as Preek was able to make the save, but the whistle blew. And obviously when the team thinks that the opposition has fired a shot after the whistle blew, they're obviously going to go after the guy that took the shot. Draw's going to come back to Steelheads territory as the draw is going to be near Idaho's bench. 18:57 left in the third. It's the Steelheads 5 and the Grizzlies 2. Utah with a 2-game winning streak. Idaho has won 6 in a row. And in fact, the last game that Idaho lost was December 3rd against Utah in this building. Idaho wins the faceoff. They throw it ahead towards Willie Niram, and it's wide of the mark as icing is called on Idaho with 18:51 left in the third. So the draw comes back towards Adam Scheel, who has stopped 26 of 28 Shill's got an NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars. And talking about three outstanding goaltenders, Jake Kupski right now is in the AHL, but Adam Schill and his backup tonight, Remy Poirier, have all done an outstanding job this season. As a draw won by Utah in the offensive zone, Nilsson looks to center it out in front to Jamison. It's taken away by Becker. Now Jamison to the side of the net. Backhand shot hits the side of the net. Right with a shot saved by Schill. Everybody in the creases. Schill's covered it up. Good job by the Grizzlies getting the puck out there in front of the net. Jamison and then Wright. And then Wright took a shot, and somehow Adam Schill was able to make the save, and the Steelheads did a good job protecting their crease. Adam Schill was undrafted, but he signed a 2-year NHL entry-level deal with the Dallas Stars back on April 1st of 2021. And this is the second year of that 2-year contract. Draw is going to be in the left circle of the Steelhead zone. 18:37 left in the third. Jamison will take it. He's got Raby behind him and Cameron Wright to his right. Up top is Kyle Pouncey and Andrew Nilsson. Draw one by Utah's Nilsson in the left point. Takes a lefty shot. Got redirected and goes wide. It's a bounced off of Cameron Wright. Puck ends up going back up top to Nilsson across to Pouncey. Kyle will throw it to the right corner. Arm is raised. Who's it going to be on? Domowski touched up the puck, and that's when the whistle blew. And it's going to be a penalty on the Steelheads. Cross-checking is going to be the call as Dawson Bardo will go to the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Utah is 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Idaho is 0 for 1, so special teams really haven't played a big factor here so far as the Grizzlies trying to cut into the Idaho lead. Jamison will take the draw. He's got Wright to the left side, Raby to the right. Raby's on hat trick watch as he's got 2 goals tonight. Up top is Jordan Martell and Andrew Nilsson. A.J. White will take the draw for Idaho. He was a member of the Grizzlies back in the 2020-21 season, where he was a teammate of current Grizzlies assistant coach Jared Pike. And the draw won by Utah. Nilsson on the right side gets to Raby. Raby over to the right side. It kicks off the skate of Jamison onto Schill, who covers up. So Raby threw the pass to the near goal line for Jamison. It bounced off his skate and rolled towards the Idaho goaltender who covered up the puck. 6 seconds into the Grizzlies' power play. I don't know the face-off numbers, but it seems like the Grizzlies are holding their own in the face-off circle here tonight. Jamison will take the draw. Same 5 on the ice for the Grizzlies, same 4 for Idaho. Utah's taking the first 3 shots of this second period. As the draw won by Utah, Raby throws up top to Nilsson. Nilsson tried to throw it towards the middle. It gets kicked by Willie Nierum and goes into the Grizzlies zone. Cameron Wright chases it. He gets the puck. He'll skate north-south. Right, crosses center ice. Now he crossed the blue line. Gets around Heiskanen. He'll skate out, take a shot. Saved by Schill. As Cameron Wright raced down the puck in his own zone, went coast to coast, got around an Idaho skater, had a great look, and Adam Schill was just able to make the save. That was a great move by Cameron Wright, who's brought a lot of energy to the table here tonight. Wright's got 1 assist. He'll come off the ice. Vladislav Mikalchuk replaces him. Otherwise, it's the same 4 for Utah. Mikalchuk talking with Raby. Mikalchuk stations himself in the right side as Jamison will take the draw again, this time against Ryan Domowski. And the draw won by Idaho as Colton Keller on the right side, who's got a goal tonight. He'll bounce off the near glass, goes over the head of Dakota Raby and into the Grizzlies zone. Andrew Nilsson chases after it. He skates around Preek's net. Now Nilsson still at the puck. He'll throw a left wing pass to Martell. He crosses center ice. Martell gets around Casey Johnson. Martell trying to get it towards Jamison. It glanced off the stick of Domowski over to the far corner. Domowski trying to get it across to Kudla. He battles with Jamison, but Kudla now gets the puck. He'll throw it past Dakota Raby and deep into the Grizzlies zone. Domowski gets it right side backhand shot. Glove saved by Preek. He holds on to he'll keep the play alive and he'll get it over to Raby. And Preek wanted to make sure he got rid of the puck quickly so he didn't get a whistle, because the whistle would have brought the faceoff back to the Grizzlies zone. Nilsson over to Raby as he skates from left to right. Raby crosses center ice. Now he skates towards the offensive line and crosses it. He'll give it over to right back to Nilsson. And the Grizzlies are offside as the puck exited the zone, and the linesman with the eagle eye was in the right place in the right time to make the call. Grizzlies will make a line change. Aaron Tho, Cam Strong will enter along with Victor Bartley, Cameron Wright, and Dylan Fitz. 43 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play, their third of the game. Idaho wins the draw, and Ends up in the Idaho zone, and now they'll clear it all the way out. Preek behind his net. We'll give it to Victor Bartley, who played in 121 NHL games, most of them with the Nashville Predators. Nashville defeated Chicago tonight. He'll feed it to the right side for Cameron Wright, who gets around Miller. Right wing shot, save. Rebound shot, saved by Shield. That second look was Tho out in front. Wright over to the left side, gets it taken away by Miller, who clears it out. Wright holds his face, and it looks like his helmet strap came off. That's right. Skates towards the bench, but it looks like he got hit up high. Grizzlies cross center ice, trying to gain the line, and taken away by Casey Johnson, who clears it out. Out of the penalty box is Dawson Bardo. He'll skate towards the bench. Grizzlies in their own zone will feed it to their blue line, as Penner will nudge ahead towards Jordan Martell. He gets it and taps it into the Steelhead zone. Martell chases after it. He gets hit by Johnson. Kanadi gets it. He'll throw it towards A.J. White. White in the left wing crosses center ice, and he'll drive it onto Preek. Takes a shot, and Preek makes the save. As I thought White was just going to wrap it around the boards, but instead fired towards the Grizzlies goaltender, and Preek makes a glove save. 16:01 left in the third period. Idaho leads Utah 5-2. Same teams on Friday night for the second game of this set, and then a 4-day Christmas break. Then the scene shifts to Maverick Center for 3 games in 4 days. Off the draw, Walker shot, saved by Preek, who holds on. Zach Walker is one of those guys. He's an unsung hero to the Idaho Steelheads club. Not necessarily a guy that's going to be on the top line ever, but he's got 4 goals and 4 assists in 17 games. And him and Colton Keller are certainly big blue-collar, high-energy players who deliver a lot of hits. Utah wins the draw, skating from left to right. Penner ahead to Michalchuk. He skates over the line. Michalchuk centers it towards Penner. Shot goes wide. Penner gets it back on the right side. He gets hit by Zach Walker. Over to Michalchuk, who goes down. Nick Kanadi can't believe it, but it's going to be a penalty. 2 minutes for holding. Kanadi's going to go to the box. The fans voice their displeasure, but Vladislav Michalchuk draws a penalty. It's the 4th power play upcoming for Utah. They are 0 for 3. Idaho has just had 1 power play tonight. They are 0 for 1. And it's kind of things like that where you realize, despite the score being 5-2, the Grizzlies have done some good things. They played a disciplined game, staying out of the penalty box. Really a difference in the game. Idaho converting on a couple odd man rushes in the second period. Kanadi with the knuckle puck early in the second frame. And there's a reason why the Steelheads have the record that they have, is they just find a way to capitalize on just about every situation. And they can win games even when their opposition plays well, as what seems to be the case here tonight. Jamison will take the draw. It's won by Utah. Cameron Wright will dish it back to Nilsson. Andrew fakes a shot. He'll get it to Wright. Right side. Shot. Glove saved by Shield. And Cameron Wright, who leads the Grizzlies in shots on goal this season, has got to be looking around going, what do I got to do to get a goal around here? Because he's had a lot of good looks, and it seems like just about every time Cameron Wright takes a good shot, one of those grade A type of shots, seems like he just gets robbed by the other team's goaltender. One of those, he'll just keep shooting because you got a feeling he's going to score in bunches once he gets that first one. As unfortunately, Cameron Wright's been stuck on 3 goals for quite a while. Jamison will take the draw. He wins it. Grizzlies have been good on the faceoff circle tonight. Nilsson over to Wright. Right side will feed it to the far goal line. Now they're trying to feed Raby out in front, and the pass goes past him out to neutral ice. Raby's got both of Utah's goals tonight, but Idaho leads 5-2. Grizzlies will back it out deep in their own zone. They want to re-enter with momentum. Andrew Nilsson skates down the middle. He'll get it to Cameron Wright. 1:30 left in the Grizzlies power play. Wright gains the offense line over to Jamison. Back to Wright. Right circle shot. Saved by Shield. Puck still in play. Martell on the left side drops it off for Nilsson. Across to Jamison. Jamison has a glance off his stick. He'll regather the puck. He'll skate towards the right corner now around the net. Back to Martell on the left side. Martell feeds it back towards Jamison, but it's taken away by Matt Register, who backhands it all the way out towards the bench area. It bounces out in front of Utah's bench and rolls towards Parikh as the puck knuckles, and Andrew Nilsson will gather it. Good play by Matt Register, anticipating the Grizzlies' play that they were running. Nilsson feeds it across to Bartley. Bartley dishes across looking for Nilsson, but he overskated it, and now it's taken back by Idaho. We'll throw it towards Lucas Parikh as it bounces off the end wall. Bartley gathers the puck as the Grizzlies complete their line change. Bartley throws it ahead. Crossing center ice is Cam Strong. He gains the line, tries to get around to A.J. White, but White pokes it away. Now the Steelheads will throw it out towards center ice. It's gathered by Bartley and displaying good hands. 30 seconds left in the Grizzlies power play. Over to Strong, back to Bartley. He's in Grizzlies territory. He'll back it out into the Grizzlies zone as Bartley will feed it across to Aaron Tho, wearing number 28. Tho skates over the line, gets around near him. Throw in the right corner, gets it poked away, rolls back towards the end wall as Fitz will feed it back to the left side for Bartley. Bartley over to the left circle as the Grizzlies dish it up top for Bartley. He fakes a shot, throws it to throw. Lefty one-timer, and glove saved by Shield. And that puck kind of had a strange trajectory to it. Kind of knuckled a little bit, and somehow Adam Shield was able to glove it and hold on. 4 seconds left in the power play. The Grizzlies will make a line change, and so does the Steelheads. Draw's going to be in the Steelhead zone, but the Grizzlies prepare for life after the power play. Shearer and Thomas are on the ice. Martell, Penner, and Michalchuk. Penner taking the face-off. Grizzlies are up to 35 shots. Idaho's taking 27. Steelheads are back at full strength. Canadi joins the play. Left circle, Michalchuk shot on. It glanced off a stick and goes out of play as it hits off the protective netting with 13:36 left in the third. The Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 10-2 in the third period, but it's still Idaho 5, Utah 2. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Everybody dancing to the chicken dance here at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies have outshot the Steelheads 9-2 in the third period, but it's the Steelheads that lead 5-2. Nobody has scored so far in the third period. Dakota Raby has both of Utah's goals. Zane Franklin leads Idaho with 1 goal and 2 assists. Steelheads win the draw. They skate from right to left. 3-on-2. Demowski feeds over to Strongest. Back to Demowski. He couldn't get a shot off as Victor Bartley cut in front of him. And the net gets dislodged as Tyler Penner was battling with Colton Keller over Lucas Preek's left shoulder. So put the net back in place. Utah has had 4 power plays to Idaho's 1. The Grizzlies have played a disciplined game, but Idaho offensively just seems to be a juggernaut to the point of scoring 4.3 goals per game and allowing a league best 2.0. As we speak right now, this season, the Steelheads goal differential is plus 58. Penner will take the draw against Ryan Demowski. As both guys stare at each other. And the draw won by Idaho. Strong just dumps it in. Picked off by Shearer about halfway between the Grizzlies' blue line and the goal line. Pass ahead, goes past Shearer onto Michalchuk, left circle. I tried to feed it out in front to Penner, but the pass was wide. Martz over to Penner. Now to Bartley. One-timer. Saved by Shield. And he holds on as now it's a 10-2 edge for the Grizzlies in shots in the third period. Draws give me the left circle. First of 5 straight games. Don't forget the Grizzlies' next home game is going to be a Bud Light College night on Wednesday, December 28th. And then 2 days from then, December 30th, is going to be an AFCU Friday where tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. As Grizzlies win the draw, Shearer with the lefty shot, saved by Shield. Now the Grizzlies around the net. Michalchuk feeds it out in front. Oh, Idaho got a stick in the way. Steelheads throw it out to center ice. It's gloved by Shearer as he'll nudge it ahead towards Martell. Martell near the Grizzlies bench. He'll skate towards his left. Now feed a left wing pass to Bartley, who skates over the line. He gets taken away by Johnson. Now Idaho will lift it out to center ice. It bounces at Strongest's ankles. He'll feed it across to Canadi, who's got a goal tonight. Now to Demowski. Back over towards Canadi. It glanced off his stick. It stays in play to the right corner. Taken by Bartley. He'll feed it ahead towards Michalchuk, but it's picked off by Johnson. Now to Wade Murphy. Skates towards the left circle. Fakes a shot. And he feeds it across. Wide opens White. He takes a shot. Saved by Preek. Grizzlies get the rebound. Dakota Raby will skate towards the middle. He's got one career hat trick and it's against the Steelheads. Raby goes down as he got cut off by Idaho. As now the puck towards Raby, but it's taken away by Murphy. Now Raby with the sign pass, shot and score! Cameron Wright got a nice pass from Dakota Raby, and we talked about Cameron Wright being due, and there he is getting his 4th of the season as the Grizzlies cut into the Steelheads lead. It's a 5-3 game. Raby got the puck behind the Idaho net, just fed it out in front to Cameron Wright, who put it away. As that was a great pass by Dakota Raby, who's got to get star honors regardless of who wins tonight's game, as he's now has 2 goals and 1 assist. And for Cameron Wright, it's been a long time coming. It's been about a month and a half, but he finally gets his 4th goal of the season. Now Kawaguchi and Wright have some words at the face-off circle at center ice. As the draw at center is going to be won by Idaho. Kawaguchi trying to locate the puck at the Utah blue line. It's taken away. Grizzlies dump it in, does Cameron Wright. As Wright gets his 4th of the season, Raby now has 3 points tonight, 2 goals and 1 assist. Idaho will bounce off the near boards. Pouncey will roll it around as Jamison behind the Idaho net battles with Idaho. As it still has feed it towards the near side. Kawaguchi ahead to Walker. Walker skates at neutral ice. Now bouncing off the far wing boards. Grizzlies chase after it. Jamison gets hit by Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi with an extra hit for Cameron Wright. Now Cam Strong has to go past him. It goes to center ice. Idaho feeds it ahead to Kawaguchi. He gets hit by Cameron Wright. Chasing after it's Raby, who's got 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. Over to Cam Strong, across the center ice. He'll throw it to Kolatarchi. Kola has it poked away by Heiskanen. Now Kola will race towards the far boards. He'll nudge it around. Cam Strong behind the goal line. 2 Grizzlies and 3 Steelheads over there. Zach Walker comes out of the pile with the puck, and he'll feed it towards A.J. White, who will dish it from one blue line to the other. Aaron Tho gathers it for Utah. He'll throw it ahead to Kolatarchi. It glances off his stick and flies deep into the Steelhead zone. It bounces off the end glass. Now Idaho tries to lift it over the head of Tho. Bats it in the air over towards Jade Miller. Miller across the center ice, and he'll dump it in. Preet behind the net will play the puck, and he'll throw it towards the near side. All turnover. Idaho skates in, shot to score. Jack Becker gets his 2nd of the game as Preet played the puck behind his net. Threw it to the far corner. Is picked off by Willie Niram, who centered it to Jack Becker, and Becker put it away before Preet was able to get back in front of his net. And this baby's in the refrigerator as Idaho has taken a 6-3 lead. Boy, Preet's normally great playing the puck behind his net, but he'd like to have that one back as he threw it to the far corner. And then Niram was just able to get it and nudge it ahead to Becker, who was cutting towards the net. So Idaho's regained a 3-goal lead at 6-3. That was the same score that the Grizzlies defeated Kansas City on this last Saturday at Maverick Center. As the Grizzlies chase after deep in their own zone, Idaho's Jack Becker on hat trick watch. He's got 2 goals tonight. 5 of his 6 goals this season have come against the Grizzlies. Mikulchuk crosses the center ice and dumps it in. The linesman claims that Mikulchuk dumped it in from Grizzlies territory. Sure yells and says that Mikulchuk had crossed center ice before dumping it in, but icing is called on the Grizzlies. The fans here in Idaho serenade Lucas Parikh. Tonight he has stopped 23 of 26, or 23 of 29. Grizzlies win the draw. Martell head to Mikulchuk, who dumps it in from just outside the Idaho blue line. As Heiskanen gets hit by Shearer. Penner throws up top to Bartley. Victor over to the right side for Shearer. He'll take a lefty shot, and it gets deflected off of Shield. We haven't seen Connor McDonald in the 3rd period, I don't think, the Grizzlies captain. As the Steelheads cross center ice, Willie Niram drops it off for Register. He skates right circle, shot, save. It's blocked by Penner. Grizzlies will bounce it off the end wall. Preet dives. As looked like Shearer tried to bounce it off the end wall of his own zone, took a strange bounce towards the crease, and then Preet dived just to the right of his crease to cover up the puck. And even 10 minutes left in the 3rd period. Timeout on the ice will take one as well. Jack Becker scored twice tonight for Idaho. Dakota Raby twice for the Grizzlies. We're back in 30 seconds as Idaho leads Utah 6-3. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network. And even 10 minutes left in the third period. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Utah has outshot Idaho 38-29. It's the most shots the Grizzlies have had in a game in just about a month. Draws in the left circle. Ryan Domowski will take the face-off for Idaho against Keaton Jamison. We have not seen Connor McDonald in the third period that I could recall. As I'm not sure about him. He's sitting on the bench, but Grizzlies without Taron Fizers. He got hurt late in the first period. Cameron Wright gains center ice and dumps it into the offensive zone. He chases after it. Wright scored a goal on a pass from Dakota Raby earlier in the third period. Pass to the left circle, the left point. Shot saved by Shield. He holds on. That last shot was taken by Keaton Jamison. Jamison playing up top there. Andrew Nilsson in the area. As Jamison talking with Cameron Wright. It's been a really strong game for Cameron Wright. We talked about all the good looks that he has had tonight. It was great to see him finally find the back of the net on that great pass from Dakota Raby. Jamison will take the face off. Jamison was Utah's best player in the Kansas City series with 4 points in 2 games. Antonio Strong just nudges from one blue line to the other. Colton Keller couldn't reach it. Taken back by Nilsson and Andrew. Back in the near side as Domowski slashes the stick away from Cameron Wright, and that's going to be a penalty as puck glides towards Adam Schill, who covers up. Ryan Domowski was nearby Cameron Wright. Domowski just slashed Wright's stick away from him. It's going to be the Grizzlies' 5th power play of the game. Cameron Wright having some words for Everett Sheen, and Nick Canati doesn't like it. He wants to punch. He punches Cameron Wright in the face with his glove. Cameron Wright is being quite the agitator, and now Dakota Raby comes in. Raby gets pushed by Register. Now Jamison gets in and gets a couple lefts in on Register. Fans like that as there's some physical action near the Steelheads zone. Cameron Wright has not made many friends with the Idaho players. He's one of those guys. He'll mix it up from time to time, and it's not necessarily a bad thing at all. As Grizzlies going to be back on the power play. Ryan Domowski, 2 minutes for slashing. Literally just took the stick and removed it from Cameron Wright's hands. It's the Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 3. It was a 5-2 Idaho lead after 2 periods. Grizzlies cut into the lead when Wright scored 7:50 in. Raby and Andrew Nilsson with the assist. So Nilsson picks up his team leading 20th assist of the season. And then Becker scored 9-11 into the third. Willie Neerum and Jade Miller with the assists. Grizzlies up to 40 shots, including 14 here in the third period. Idaho's only taken 4 shots in the third period. They've got 30 for the game. Everett Sheen, the Idaho coach, is having a conversation with Jake Jackson. Sheen demonstrating some things. It's kind of interesting to see Idaho be on the short end of the power play discrepancy here tonight, because usually it's the other way around, it seems like. And so Everett Sheen talking it over with the referee, and the referee is a patient listener in this case. Despite being down by 3 goals, the Grizzlies have had some good performances tonight. Dakota Raby, 2 goals and 1 assist. Cameron Wright with 1 goal and 1 assist. So it's a multiple-point game for Cameron Wright. That is his 4th multiple-point game this season. It's also Raby's 4th multiple-point game this year. Draws give me the right circle as Everett Sheen done with his conversation with the referee. Tonight it's Jake Jackson. Jamison will take the draw. He's got Raby to his left on hat trick watch with 2 goals tonight, and Cameron Wright to his right. Up top is Jordan Martell and Andrew Nilsson. Draw one by Idaho. Cody Haskinen skates around his goaltender and throws it all the way out. The linesman had to duck to make sure he didn't get hit with that. I think that's Eric Landquist. As Nilsson gets the puck, he'll nudge it ahead to Martell across the center ice. Martell 2-on-4, gains the offensive line. Idaho poked it back towards the center ice logo. Raby gathers it for Utah. As he'll skeet towards his left, he'll drop it off for Nilsson. Nilsson across to Raby, left wing across the center ice. Raby gains the offensive line, drops off for Martell. Martell skeets towards the left corner. He'll feed it up top to Nilsson. Nilsson back to Raby. He's in the left point. Raby back to Nilsson just outside the left circle. Over to the corner for Martell. Back up top for Nilsson. Across to Wright on the right side. Cameron gets the puck. He feeds it towards right circle. Bounced off a Register stick. Now the Grizzlies center it from the right corner. And Shield cuts it off and Covers up the puck. 8:35 left in the third. 1:14 left in the Grizzlies power play. Their 5th of the evening. It's still 6-3 Steelheads. Yeah, the Grizzlies have had 5 times the power plays of this Idaho's. The Steelheads have only been on the power play once. Cam Strong will take the draws. The Grizzlies made a line change. 1:14 left in this current power play. Domowski in the box, 2 minutes for slashing. As the Grizzlies win the draw, McCallchuck in the corner. Over to Tho. Tho back to Fitz. Fitz gets it to Strong. Back to Tho. He's on the right side, skates towards the corner. Now spins it along the wall. McCallchuck in the left corner of the far side gets hit by Bardo. Over to Fitz. Up top for Tho. Tho over to Strong. Strong in the right side, just outside the circle. Now up top to Tho. Tho skates towards his left. Now he feeds to Bartley. Now back to Tho. Tho over to Strong. One-timer. He fanned on it. Bartow rolls it along the far boards. It stays in. Bartley over to Tho, but it goes past him and out of the zone. Tho chases after it. He's now in the Grizzly zone, being shadowed by Jade Miller. Miller with a third period assist as Tho will throw it over to Bartley. As Bartley gets hit. Now over to Tho. Tho skates down the middle and gets it to Strong. Strong with a right wing pass, but it was a soft one. Walker picks it off. Now Tho it neutralized. We'll throw it back into the Grizzly zone for Bartley. Victor will nudge it to the left side for Tho. He's across center ice. Now ahead to McCallchuck, who gains a line. Now to Bartley. 10 seconds left in the power play. Over to Tho. I tried to feed it out in front to McCallchuck. It bounced off him. And clearing it all the way out towards Lucas Preek is Casey Johnson. Steelheads back at full strength. Ryan Domowski races to the bench. 7:15 and counting left in the third. Idaho leads 6-3. As Raby will feed it across. It's batted by Wade Miller, displaying great hands. He might have been a baseball player in his day. Left circle, Kawaguchi with a shot. Saved by Preek. Like Kawaguchi's shot kind of bounced off a stick, and Preek had to make a tricky save, but he was able to hold on to it with 7:05 left in the third. Draw's going to be in the Grizzly zone. Yeah, we've not seen Connor McDonald in this third period. We haven't seen a ton of Corey Thomas either, even though McDonald is on the bench, the Grizzlies captain. Haven't seen Taryn Pfizer since he got injured in the last minute of the first period. We're probably not going to know anything for the rest of tonight, and we hope that he'll be okay. As Grizzlies cross center ice after winning the faceoff. Jamison skates towards the right circle. Shot! Glove saved by Shield. He holds on as the Idaho goaltender has been busy tonight, but he's played a good game, stopping 38 of 41. It's the Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 3. 8 of the next 11 games starting tonight are between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. It's the 8th meeting this season. Idaho has a record of 5-2 against the Grizzlies. As the draw won by Utah, they're in the offensive zone. Shearer, right point, shot goes wide. Raby was net front trying to get his third of the game. Now Raby in the left corner pokes it away from Wade Murphy. Raby behind the net. Grizzlies look to center it. Idaho picks it off. They throw it to the left point. Bartley keeps it in. Bartley throws to the left circle. Idaho tried to pick it off, but couldn't. Right over to Jamison, who's double teamed and couldn't get a shot off. Idaho takes away, delayed penalty, and this time it's going to be on the Grizzlies. White over to Keller. Back looking for White out in front of the net. Puck lifts high into the air, and Preek gloves it and holds on. And Nick Canati goes after it, and Cameron Wright, and looked like Canati threw a right on right, and Jamison was in the area as well. Grizzlies are going to get a penalty, 6:27 left in the third period, so it was a delayed penalty. Idaho looking for an odd man rush. Tripping's the call. Nick Canati, with his speed, drew the penalty. Who's going to the box? Looks like it's going to be James Shearer. Shearer pleads his case with the referee. He puts both palms in the air and says, I ain't doing anything, but he's going in 2 minutes for tripping. 6:27 left in regulation. Corey Thomas out there along with Aaron Tho. Tyler Penner and Cam Strong, the two forwards. Second power play for Idaho tonight. Domowski's out there with Antonio Strongis. Colton Keller. Up top is Patrick Kudla and Dawson Bardo. Draw won by Idaho as Kudla in the left point. He'll skate towards his right. He's now in the high slot. He fakes a shot, throws it to Strongis. Left circle shot. Glove saved by, our body saved by Preek. Lucas does a great job when that shot comes towards his body of just corralling it, using both his glove on his left side and his blocker on his right to just kind of smother the puck. he's outstanding at that. And to go along with a quick glove. Lucas has given up 6 tonight, but it's not necessarily been a bad game for him. As Grizzlies win the draw, Corey Thomas, the former Steelhead, clears it out. Thomas was with the Steelheads in camp and was cut. And obviously, Idaho pretty deep in just about every aspect of the game, including defensemen. As Idaho will feed it to the left side for Strongis. He's got an NHL entry-level deal. He gains the line. He gets hit by Tho and gets divorced in the puck. Cutler on the left side keeps it in, but he gets it taken away by Strong. Keller takes it away from Strong, but the Steelheads will back it out into their own zone to reset the attack. 1:20 left in the Steelheads power play. Idaho leads 6-3. 5.5 minutes left in the third period. As the puck's still in the Steelhead zone as the Grizzlies challenging them. Now Idaho gets it. Cutler skates down the middle. He fires a left wing pass out towards Domowski. He takes a shot. Saved by Preek. Rebound bounces off the end boards, and Preek's able to cover up. Wade Murphy got pretty close to Preek, and the Grizzlies push Murphy and make sure they protect their goaltender. Dylan Fitz has some words for Wade Murphy. Murphy's like, I'm just trying to get the puck, and Fitz is like, get away from our goaltender. Especially since Chris Coma, it was a really good college goaltender at the University of Utah. He's the backup tonight. Trent Miner's in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles. Garrett Metcalf still in the AHL as he was loaned to the San Diego Gulls a couple weeks ago. Draw taken by Idaho. They win it as Register feeds it across to Heiskanen. He's on the right side now up top to Register. Back to Heiskanen. Now Register gets it in the high slot. Fakes a shot, throws to Murphy. One-timer, and he goes high. Murphy's stick broke in the process as his equipment let him down. Over to the right side, A.J. White behind the net. He gets double-teamed. He'll feed it to Heiskanen. Now up top to Register. He'll take a lefty wrist shot. Bounces off of A.J. White. Goes towards Raby. A stick goes flying into the far corner. Raby over to the left side, being shadowed by White. Raby with a backhand pass. Register keeps it in the left point. Now to Kawaguchi. He skates towards the left circle. Look for Walker. It bounced off a skate and rolls to Preek, who covers up with 4:52 left in the third. 25 seconds left in the Idaho power play. Both teams' penalty kills have done a pretty good job tonight. Idaho has killed off all 5 of the Grizzlies' power plays. And the Grizzlies here, you think about Idaho being about 27% on the power play this year. Grizzlies' penalty kill, knock on wood's done a good job. I say knock on wood because Idaho's still on the power play. A.J. White will take the draw for Idaho against Keaton Jamison. And it's won by Kawaguchi over to Register. Now to Heiskanen on the right side. Back to Kawaguchi. Takes a lefty shot. Saved by Preek. Rebound goes out to Tho. And Aaron will skate towards his left. And he'll throw it out to center ice. Puck bounced off of Jamison's stick and goes back to Register. As Murphy throws a soft pass. Thomas picks it off. Bounced off his stick. Goes towards Cameron Wright near the Idaho bench. Wright will feed it back to Tho. As Wright still in front of the Idaho bench, collects the pass over to Jamison. Jamison on the right side stops in the corner. Sure is out of the box. Good penalty kill by the Grizzlies. Tho skates down the middle. Now he veers off to the left circle. As Tho being shadowed by Jack Becker and double teamed in the corner. Murphy delivers a hit on Tho. Tho goes down for a second. Now gets back up. About 4 minutes left in the third period as Jack Becker on hat trick watch will get it back to center ice. It's regathered by Tyler Penner. He'll throw an outlet pass to Wright. Wright gains the line. He gets held up by Register. Grizzlies in the left point get knocked down. Now Wright, left side, shot gets blocked and flies into the stands over about section 101. As a fan comes away with a souvenir. 3:53 left in the third period. Idaho leads 6-3. We'll find out how this one ends together here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Grizzlies with an offensive zone draw. They've taken 41 shots tonight, and 3 have found the back of the net. Idaho has taken 35 shots. 6 has found the back of the net. As a draw taken by Tyler Penner for Utah against Jack Becker. Becker's got 2 goals for Idaho. Dakota Raby has 2 goals and 1 assist for Utah. Cameron Wright has 1 goal and 1 assist. Both Raby and Wright picking up their 4th multiple-point game of the season. As a draw won by Idaho, Niram gets hit by Penner. As the puck in the Steelhead zone, Jordan Martell has 1 assist tonight. He feeds the corner looking for McCallchuck, and it's taken away by Casey Johnson. Now the Steelheads, Nick Canati will get it over to Willie Niram, who will throw it into the Grizzlies' blue line as it's taken by Kyle Pouncey. He takes the puck and skates around Preek's net. Preek talks with him as Pouncey feeds it across. It's past Andrew Nelson, but Andrew gets it off the boards. He'll throw it ahead to Penner, who baseball batted, try to get it deep into the Steelhead zone, but Idaho throws it back the other way. Martell races after it. He'll feed it over to Nilsson. Andrew across to Pouncey, who wears number 23. Now ahead to Martell. Martell gains center ice. Now he crosses the blue line left wing. Martell will keep the puck, and he'll skate towards the left corner over to Penner. Penner gets blasted. Penner trying to get it back towards Martell, and it's taken away by Idaho. They feed center ice as Strongis will get it over to the right corner for Canati. Canati trying to drop it off for Keller. Utah gets it and clears it out. It's going to be icing on Utah as Victor Bartley iced the puck with 2:47 left in the third. Draw comes back to Lucas Parikh. He has stopped 29 of 35 so far tonight. Lucas got a 32-save shutout against Kansas City on Sunday. Kansas City tonight defeated Iowa 2-1. Barring a miracle, Grizzlies come back. Idaho will have won their 7th in a row. The Grizzlies' 2-game winning streak would come to an end. As Patrick Kudla gains the line, but he's offside with 2:39 left in the third. Grizzlies came into play tonight with a record of 2-5 against Idaho. But the Grizzlies here in Idaho Central Arena are 2-2 coming into play tonight. So after tonight's loss, it'll be 2-3. As the draw at neutral ice, Ryan Domowski will take it against Cam Strong. Joey Clotarchi and Antonio Strongis battling on the right side. Utah wins the draw, but it goes between the Grizzlies defensemen. Bartley chases after it deep in the Grizzlies zone. Over to James Shearer, ahead looking for Fitz. It glanced off a skate as Register will feed it towards Domowski. He's in the Steelhead zone. He'll get it towards center ice where it's taken by Fitz again. He'll feed it back to Bartley. Now towards Fitz. Fitz turnover. And Strongis with a shot. Saved by Parikh. Puck glides towards the far corner. Bartley gets it. He'll nudge it across to Shearer. Shearer back to Bartley. We have not seen Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, into this third period. As Shearer over on the near side feeds it out to center ice looking for Colatarchi as he hits Strongis. Now towards the Steelheads bench. Grizzlies will backhand it deep in the Steelhead zone as Adam Shield communicates with his defensive partner. Now over towards Jamison. Right wing shot blocked by Domowski. Now Colatarchi couldn't get the puck as Jamison will skate towards the corner. Over there, Matt Register with a one-on-one battle with Dylan Fitz. Puck goes through Jamison's legs out towards the right point. And Kawaguchi pokes over Tho in the area as there's a big battle along the near boards in the Steelhead zone. As Shield looks on the Idaho goaltender, goes back towards Tho. He feeds it across, but Walker picks it off for Idaho. Zach Walker crosses center ice and dumps it in. Fitz delivers a hit of Walker. This goes back to Aaron Tho around the net. Walker takes it away. Over to A.J. White. Slot shot. Kick save by Parikh. As Corey Thomas will nudge it towards the near corner. 1:13 and counting left in the third period. As White, big time hit delivered by Raby. As White kept his feet. Now crossing center ice is Corey Thomas. Will dump it in. As Shield cuts it off behind the net. As it rolls back towards the near side. 1 minute left in regulation. Over to Kawaguchi. Thomas cuts him off. As Kawaguchi goes down, Thomas gets the puck. He'll skate behind Parikh's net. Walker challenging him, but Thomas keeps the puck. Now he'll throw it ahead. Grizzlies now at center ice. Now taking it is Cam Strong. He'll gain the line, gets around to A.J. White. Now Strong stops along the far boards. Over to Nilsson. Left wing shot goes wide. Nilsson's got 1 assist tonight. Now right point. Bouncy shot. Glove saved by Shield. He holds on with 34 seconds left in the third. Idaho's going to pick up their victory, their 21st victory tonight. Their record goes to 21-3-0-1. Grizzlies are going to fall to 11-13 and 6-8 away from the friendly confines of Maverick Center. Fans are starting to head home for the exits, and the Idaho fans are going to head home happy. As the draw goes between the Grizzlies defensemen, Nilsson will chase after it in the Grizzlies zone as he gets the puck. He skates around Parikh's net. Now Nilsson on the near side as he stops near the boards, feeds it across behind Pouncey. Now Pouncey gets it off the boards. He crosses center ice and backhands it deep into the Steelhead zone. As over towards the far corner, Grizzlies skate around the net looking for Strong. He's in the corner as Jade Miller pushing away. Becker gets hit by Kolatarchi. Kanadi gets it, and he'll feed it towards the near wing boards. 3 seconds left. Nilsson, toe drag, right wing shot goes high, and that will do it. Idaho wins 6-3 as Jack Becker had 2 goals. Zane Franklin had 1 goal and 2 assists, and it was an outstanding performance by Adam Scheel, who stopped 39 of 42. Grizzlies had standout performances by Dakota Raby, who had 2 goals and 1 assist, and Cameron Wright had 1 goal and 1 assist. Lucas Preek picks up his 5th loss of the season as he stopped 31 of 37. Grizzlies wore their alternate 3rd jerseys for the first time ever. They are now 0-1 in those 3rd jerseys. They'll wear them again Friday night as they look to split the 2-game series 2 days from now here at Idaho Central Arena. Post-game show coming up. Once again, the final score, the Idaho Steelheads 6 and the Utah Grizzlies 3. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Utah Operation Lifesaver. Final score here from Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 3. Idaho scored first tonight. Jack Becker got his 5th of the season, first of 2 in the game. Jordan Kawaguchi and Patrick Kudla with the assists. Grizzlies tied it up 13:44 in as Jordan Martell skated from the left side, stopped behind the net, and kind of reversed the puck back towards the left side out in front of the net over to Dakota Raby, who put it away for his first of 2 tonight and 5th of the season. And for Johnny Martell, he now has 2 assists in 3 games in a Grizzlies uniform. Idaho took a 2-1 lead when Colton Keller got a centering pass from Ryan Domowski, 18-14 in. Cody Haskinen also picked up an assist on the play. Idaho led 2-1 after 20 minutes of play, but it's really what happened in the last minute of the first period that's most notable, as Terran Pfizer got pushed into the corner by Zane Franklin, and Pfizer came up holding a portion of his upper body, and he got injured on the play. He did not return to the game, and it kind of looked like one of those things that he might miss some time with. Hopefully he'll be okay, but Pfizer missed the final 2 periods of the game, and we didn't see Connor McDonald take a shift in the 3rd period, so we're not sure if it's a coach's decision. Easy for me to say, a coach's decision, or if McDonald was banged up enough to where he couldn't go in the 3rd period. But so he didn't play in the 3rd period. Grizzlies were also without their top goal scorer this season in Johnny Walker, who missed his first game of the season. Early in the 2nd period, Nick Kanadi scored from the high slot, and kind of one of those weird knuckle pucks that just kind of trickled past Lucas Preek. It just wasn't a smooth shot, but it just somehow had the accuracy. Casey Johnson and Zane Franklin with the assists. Wade Murphy extended the Idaho lead as he got a one-timer from the left circle on a 3-on-2 situation. That made it a 4-1 game, and then Zane Franklin scored 14:54 in on a nice move from the right side. He veered off to the left and then got hit from behind as he was taking the shot, and it went past Lucas Perique. Nick Kanadi picked up an assist there. Kanadi ended the night with 1 goal and 1 assist. Grizzlies scored late in the 2nd period as Dakota Raby found the back of the net for the 2nd time in the game. 18:42 in. Cameron Wright and James Shearer with the assists. Early in the 3rd, the Grizzlies scored first in the frame as Cameron Wright got his 4th of the season. It was a great centering pass from Dakota Raby, who was out behind the net. And it's a good game for Cameron Wright, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. He had 7 shots, which means he leads the club with 80 on the season. And, that cut into the Idaho lead, made it a 5-3 game. Then Jack Becker got a 2nd of the contest. And that's one of those things that just kind of, Lucas Preek's one of those guys. He's outstanding playing the puck behind his net. He threw it to the far corner, and Idaho picked it off, and near him centered it to Jack Becker, who was cutting in from the right side, and Becker was able to put it away for his 2nd of the game and 6th of the season. 5 of 6 Becker's goals this year have come against Utah. Neeram and Jade Miller with the assists, and that was all she wrote. That was all the scoring in the game. Idaho took a 6-3 lead. It was a high shot count for the Grizzlies tonight. They took 42 shots, and I got to think back to when the last time the Grizzlies had 42 shots in a game this season. And it looks like there was one other time the Grizzlies had at least 42 shots, and that was on November 12th against the Allen Americans, a game they lost 4-2. It was the final game of an 8-game road trip. The Grizzlies had 43 shots to Allen's 28. Otherwise, you're talking about this being the most shots the Grizzlies have had since November 12th. And so it's, I think if you're the Grizzlies, you had a lot of good looks. Adam Schill, the Idaho goaltender, had a good game. You were able to get 3 goals past him. I think if there's another positive, the Grizzlies were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The Grizzlies' power play was 0 for 5. So, Idaho had a good night on the penalty kill. And I think there in the last 2 periods, the Grizzlies had to adjust a little bit being without Taryn Fizer. As Fizer, has been one of those guys who's been instrumental to the Grizzlies' power play and what they wanted to do. And 4 of the Grizzlies' 5 power plays were in the last 2 periods of play. I think Andrew Nelson played a pretty good game. He had 1 assist tonight. James Shearer was a +2. He had 1 assist. And like I said before, I think the 2 standouts were really Dakota Raby and Cameron Wright. We saw some good things from the Rooster. Jordan Martell, had that great pass to Raby for Utah's first goal, but I thought Martell had a pretty decent game. And I really liked the effort from Vladislav Mikalchuk. I thought he played hard tonight. Sometimes it's just not your night. And when you're here in this barn, your Grizzlies did get a favorable whistle. After all, they had 5 power plays to Idaho's 2. It's just sometimes that, you're facing a team that's just so hot right now. And right now, Idaho has won 7 in a row. This is their 7th straight victory. The Grizzlies' 2-game winning streak comes to an end. But, you're thinking about, Idaho just being a red-hot team. And I don't know that anybody can stop them right now on any sort of consistent basis. You're talking about a club that has won 21 of their first 25 games. And, the Grizzlies did beat them twice in this building earlier this year. But Idaho just looks like an outstanding club. And it seems like anytime you make a mistake, it ends up in the back of your net. That's just the way things have gone for the Steelheads this season. They get a 3-goal victory, and their goal differential for the season is a +58. Now, keep in mind, it's only their 25th game of the season. They're already a +58 in the goal differential. It's insane. That's about 2.5 goals per game that Idaho has over the opposition. And because of that, I don't think the Grizzlies played a poor game at all. It's just Idaho was able to take advantage of a couple things. They were able to get a couple odd man rushes in the second period and capitalized on those. I know the Grizzlies traditionally have been a team that doesn't allow all that many odd man rushes, but tonight they did allow those 2 in the second period. And, just one of those nights where, Lucas Preek, I thought had some moments where he played well, but just didn't quite have his A game like he had this past Sunday. And I know for the Grizzlies, they want to come back 2 days from now and see if they can bounce back and even up the series and get their 3rd win here in Idaho this season. But the Grizzlies fall to 11-13 on the year. Idaho's record goes to 21-3-0-1. Adam Schill's the winning goaltender. He stopped 39 of 42. His record goes to 8-1 this season. Lucas Preek was the losing goaltender. His record goes to 3-5 through 8 games this season. The backup tonight was Chris Coma, and if you joined us late, Trent Miner was reassigned to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, so he's now an Eagle. Remember, he's serving the second year of a 3-year NHL entry-level deal. I didn't make much of a mention of it when he got the 30-save shutout against Trois Rivières on November 27th, and I probably should have made more of a mention of it because that shutout was Miner's 8th in a Grizzlies uniform, and that broke a Grizzlies all-time franchise record for shutouts. He was tied with Tommy Salo for 7. And so Trent Miner with 8 shutouts does have the Grizzlies franchise record for clean sheets. And so he's been outstanding, although this year has been a little bit of a struggle. But Miner did get a victory, stopping 26 of 29 last Friday against Kansas City. And Garrett Metcalf, you think about, the job that he has done for the Grizzlies. He was loaned to the AHL's San Diego Ghouls a couple weeks ago. It's been a little bit of a struggle for him statistically in San Diego. But remember, he was a Anaheim Ducks draft pick in 2015, and San Diego is a Ducks affiliate. So obviously they know him well enough to where they drafted him, even though they didn't sign him. But, it's good to see Garrett Metcalf get a chance up there. And even though statistically it'd been a little bit rough the first 3 games, hopefully he'll continue to play well. The backup, as we mentioned, former University of Utah product, Chris Coma, the brother of Matt Coma, who's been part of Grizzlies broadcasts for years back. And we'd love to see Matt Coma once again. It's one of those things. I'd love to call a game with Matt. It seems like when we always call games together, it was always a lot of fun. It seems like a couple times a year, Matt would be in attendance, and I'd be like, hey, just come up and call the game with me. And it would always be a lot of fun with Matt Coma, and that's Chris Coma's brother, who had worked for KUTV for many years. I think he left KUTV a couple months ago. I'm not sure what he's up to these days, but Chris Coma actually looks like a pretty good goaltender. Watching him in warm-ups, he does have University of Utah pads on, so he does have a little bit of that red. And you think about Chris Coma, the emergency backup. I mean, we are coming about the 1-year anniversary about a week from now. December 29th of 2022 2021 was the famous Brady DeVries game. So we're about a week away from the 1-year anniversary of the Brady DeVries game. That's actually going to be an off day for the Grizzlies on December 29th, which will be in the middle of that 3-game series at Maverick Center against the same Idaho Steelheads team. From other scores from around the league, as all the games have gone final now, Wichita got a 6-3 victory over Rapid City, as Braden Watts had 2 goals for Wichita. Neither team scored in the third period, as the Thunder come away with a 6-3 victory. Actually, Rapid City actually outscored them 2-1 in the third period, but 6-3 the final, Wichita over Rapid City. Kansas City defeated Iowa 4-2. Jeremy McKenna scored both of the Kansas City goals. Jeremy, don't call me James McKenna. James McKenna, one of the linesmen we see at Grizzlies home games from time to time. Florida defeats Orlando 5-3. Trois Riviere over Worcester 2-1. Reading defeats Maine 6-5. In overtime, Kalamazoo over Cincinnati 4-3. And Jacksonville defeats Savannah 5-2. I mentioned Travis Howell didn't play for Jacksonville. Well, there's a good reason. He was loaned to the San Diego Ghouls. So Travis Howell is now a teammate of Garrett Metcalf's over in San Diego. Well, that'll about wrap things up here from Idaho Central Arena. It was great to see a road game, third road game that I've attended this season. It's one of my favorite barns, not named Maverick Center. Obviously, I love Maverick Center, but this is a fun place to watch a hockey game. Tonight, it was just too much Steelheads as they defeat the Grizzlies 6-3. As I mentioned before, it was a good performance for Dakota Raby and Cameron Wright. Raby had 3 points tonight with 2 goals and 1 assist. Wright with 1 goal and 1 assist. Both players earned their 4th multiple-point games of the season. The leader in the clubhouse for multiple-point games is Andrew Nilsson, who has 6. Nilsson picked up 1 assist tonight, giving him a team lead with 20 assists this season. He also leads the club with 24 points. It's interesting to see Dakota Raby rack up the points in bunches. He now has a point in 10 of his last 11 games. In fact, Raby now has 18 points this season. Cameron Wright also has 18 points. That's as both guys are tied for the team lead in points among forwards. So Raby with 6 goals and 12 assists, and Cameron Wright with 4 goals and 14 assists. And both guys have really done a pretty good job. For Wright, it's his first season as a pro. For Raby, it's his first full season as a pro. Remember, he played at the end of last season, and the most memorable game he's played really was against the Steelheads. It was at Maverick Center on April 15th when he got a hat trick in the night that the Grizzlies clinched the division title. So Raby has had some success against Idaho in the past, and he played well tonight. And there were some good performances by the Grizzlies tonight. It was a pretty good job by the penalty kill, but just too much Idaho. I think the Grizzlies do feel good about getting 42 shots off, getting everything on net. There was a lot of things I think the Grizzlies could feel good about, despite the scoreboard not necessarily going to their favor. Well, that'll about wrap things up here from Idaho Central Arena. Once again, in 2 hours and 34 minutes and in front of 5,250, the Idaho Steelheads got 2 goals from Jack Becker and 1 goal and 2 assists from Zane Franklin and 1 goal and 1 assist from Nick Canati as they defeat the Utah Grizzlies 6-3. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.